Go ahead and flip the camera. There we go. That's a little better. Well, unless you guys, I guess I could have you guys just watching the stream. Do that too. Let me do this. What's up, Non Fam? How are we going to do this? Let's see. I think we have these. That will go like that. Lithophane came out pretty good, actually. There we go. It's a little cumbersome, but it'll work for what's needed. What's up, Resin Minis? What's up, man? I need to get to my profile so I can see. What's up, Ron? What's up, Ray? What's up, Spring? How's it going? I'm a little tired, so I'm not sure how late we're going to be doing this live stream, but I basically have you guys ghetto streaming on the stream. So everybody sees TikTok. What's up, Lino? How's it going? So we're gonna try and get this all set up. How well did the lithophane come out? Does it light up well? I have not washed and cured it yet, but it should light up pretty well. Hello, friend. Can you shout out my who? Sure. Shout out to Randall for his 63rd birthday. Sure. Do you see new Pop Mini of Revo? I don't know who that is. Ah, your grandpa. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's translucent. It works. It works for what it's intended. So, resin is kind of nice because it's kind of transparent no matter what you're using. You just got to make sure your wall thickness is not super thick. So, you don't have any resin printers. I'm sorry. They're really cool. Hi, Spring again. How's it going? Um, yeah. So basically, got to there we go. That's what we want. Can I go even smaller? That's the smallest it'll let me go. What's up, Matt? How's it going? Not much. Just working on my Mega 8K. For some reason, I added a new FEP sheet, and after one print, a crease somehow developed in the corner of the back. Gonna see if it still prints fine. Oof. Been there, done that. Oh yeah. I've done. I did a giant Vigo lithophane way back, couple months back on the Mega 8K right there, and it was what, like 380 millimeters tall and about 5 millimeters thick, I think it was, and that printed perfectly fine. So yes, Vigo the Carpathian. Yep. And I used to show it off because I printed it in flexible resin, which at the time I didn't know it was until it printed, and I'm like, wow, that looks really bad. Like it's very wavy. And then I read the bottle, and I was like, oh, that would explain why. It is. It's meant for miniatures. It's model resin, so it's got some flex in it. And so I used to flex it off on stream, and one day, yeah, it broke into like four different pieces on a live stream because the temperature had dropped up and down, and yeah, basically we were um, we were experiencing a an issue with resin and some of the lower end resins. So, what's up, Ashley? How's it going? I'd say more times FDM is more work than resin is, at least in my experience. That's one of the reasons why I'm pretty much all resin now. What's up, Carl? How's it going? Uh, what's up, Carl? If I didn't say hi already. What's up, Maker Viking? How's it going, man? All right, so I should really start getting some work done here. Thankfully, I re-leveled the Max. I went to go and print it, and then something happened where I really don't know what happened. To be in all honesty, it bottomed out. So I don't know. So with the M3 Max, do you notice any suction issues at all with the build plate? Yes, very much so. Um, Quite a lot actually, and I need to adjust. So one of the big issues that I have is it uses Photon Workshop, which I'm not a big fan of. I really don't like Photon Workshop. Um, I'm usually pretty okay with new slicers and things like that, but it's not something that's been very nice. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's a good possibility that the suction is so heavy on that, and that could also mean that I don't have the ability to basically make it as fast as the Mega. So yeah, so I understand where people come from with the Mega and its perforated build plate. I've been using perforated build plates for a little while now with the Weebox 215 and now the Uniformation GK1. Obviously that was after the Mega, so it's nothing new to me. What's up, Michael? Mr. Kruger. Uh, if you like it, just drop in. What? Anyway, so yeah, I've basically been doing that. So yes, it is. I agree. FTM is more work, more tinkering. Resin kind of just prints and go for the most part. Britt, I'm on everywhere. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. So I'm on three different Facebook pages. I'm on my group. I'm on my page and I'm on my personal page. Then I'm also on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on TikTok, which you guys could just see the phone right here. So we're ghetto OBS streaming because there's no way to stream TikTok through OBS that I'm aware of. I've looked, and you need a stream key, but TikTok will not give you one unless you're over 100,000 followers, usually, or your select few. So, all right, give me a second. I'll share out the invite to everybody. So for those who are wanting to be on the stream, there's out to all. I will get you the link, and we'll get some more people in here.
Morning, Jeff. How are you?
Pretty good. You are very low. Hold on here. I got
very low.
Audio low. There we go. That's better.
There we go. Yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, I kind of figured. How does the auto refill system work? It's good. It works good so far. Yeah, I have a feeling that model is going to be kind of tricky to do. To be in all honesty.
I've gone back up to 13. So we got some success. So okay, sorry. So for context for everybody else, I have a flexible resin from Photocentric, which I'm now wondering whether or not I'm supposed to show people, but I have. So there we go. So that's in development, and it's almost like a vulcanized rubber. Like once it's printed, even once it's cured, it stays like a rubber band. Like it's proper flexible. And me and Matt were brainstorming yesterday in between him rolling over his dogs on how to get the slicer settings right. Photocentric have like their own little ecosystem. So they have their own resins, they have their own slicer, and then they have their own machines. So bearing in mind this is a development resin anyway, there is zero information about it. They do give you like a 19-page document that tells you not to inhale it, don't rub it on yourself, don't ingest it or put it in your body in any way. This is So Vincent, how much resin printing do you actually do?
I just started picking it up again. I did a resin print yesterday. Right. I'm still new to it.
You probably have just a little bit more experience than him.
I would imagine Vincent has more experience than me.
I got him a resin printer way before that.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
You got the same Proxima
Gear Station too, and
nice.
Yeah, he used like 2 bottles so far, I think.
Second bottle almost finished. This is what I printed. This is a test print because I want to build this one in clear resin soon.
Right. Okay.
So I'm printing another one. Try to take a look if it fits together. Like an FDM. So FDM's got a little bit of flexibility to it when you put it together, and this is really hard.
Mm.
So I have to take a look. And if I get it off the build plate, the bottom part is still sticking in the vat because it's so large on the Proxima.
It's interesting you say that because there's a lot of people in the Voron community at the moment that are desperate to try and get resin working for printing Voron parts.
Mm-hmm.
But there are two major
5 times faster to print those parts.
So there are 2 major issues with it. One is temperature resistance. 2 is that the FDM parts, when you print in ABS, it has some level of flexibility, which the machine is designed for. And resin, as you said, is super, super rigid. So trying to do the parts in resin is not necessarily going to be great. But then as well, all of the Voron parts use heated inserts to create the threads. Now, Matt, you were saying the other day that you can actually tap a resin part. You can actually thread a resin part.
Yes, you can.
which is interesting, but that's not how the Voron parts are currently designed. They're currently designed to have heated inserts melted into them, which
which unfortunately with resin, once you cure it, that's it. Like
there'll be no melting.
Yeah, you can't melt anything in there. I mean, even if you had a flexible resin, I don't think you can get away with that. And even if you did, you wouldn't want that because it would wiggle around. So wiggle.
So it was just interesting. And then the other thing that we talked about yesterday, that it just never even occurred to me that this is something, and I feel like it's something I wanna bring up. So I'm gonna. So almost all resin is tested on animals.
Yep.
So almost all resin. So, for example, in the photocentric document of don't ingest it and everything else, the reason they know that is because they actually list a section in which they try it on a fish, they try it on a rat, they try it on. There's like a whole section in here about the animal testing that they've done to figure out whether or not resin is an irritant. And Matt, you were saying that you think that is, pretty standard across most resin manufacturers.
I would not doubt it. Yes.
So what that means is that if you are vegan or vegetarian, really, you can't resin print. No one's ever tried to choke down like some ABS in a rat or something. But
that's probably not just resin 3D printing. That's resin in general.
Yeah.
I mean that goes back to like beauty products. They do the same thing with beauty products. So it's if you wear a type of makeup, anything like that.
Yeah, the difference is that if you put a bit of lipstick on a rat, all the other rats just think he's a whore. If you choke some resin down him, then he grows an extra leg. Like it's a bit different. So I found that I didn't know. I don't know if that's something that was widely.
So it's a guarantee that we're gonna mutate or what?
I don't know. You don't know until you try, do you?
Well, you go ahead first, okay? I'll watch you.
It doesn't say in here whether or not the rat died, but I can't imagine he was happy afterwards.
No, I don't think so either. Must have been a lot of chemical burns and.
Because they fed it to him.
Oh no way!
So they didn't just rub it on his skin. It says here oral, so they've fed it to him.
Yeah,
and they've made him breathe it in. Like this is not a well rat. This is a rat that has diseases named after it. This is not good. This is not a healthy rat. Yeah, and then they've got a fish section as well where they've like poked a cod or something, I suppose. But yeah, just a little.
I only have one word to say about this.
Right.
Yes, I just started resin printing again. I had this resin printer for about a year, I think, Matt.
Yeah, about.
Yeah. So I almost got my second bottle in, and I was tinkering with the actual one of those lights that I'm going to use for on the desk. I built one in FDM. It took me 270 hours to put together and print because I only got one printer. And I thought by myself, you know what? I'm going to try this one in resin, but in clear resin.
Yeah.
So there's going to be two lightings. There's going to be one in the bottom for on your desk, white, and RGB in the inside.
So Resin Minis is just asking, what if you modified the hole for the fitted part where the hole is larger, placed the threaded insert in and added some resin putty with some baby powder resin mix and then cure it? So, yeah.
Yep.
You could absolutely do that.
So for that, I would highly suggest using a clear resin because if you use a solid resin, trying to get the UV to cure on the inside there is kind of hard, unless it's a threaded piece like that has like perforated holes somewhere. Then okay.
So there's no perforated holes, but there's teeth around the outside,
right?
So that it can. If I get that in focus, there we go.
It.
So it can And then obviously the reason for it is that the reality is on a Voron is you take it apart and you put it back together a decent amount of times. So you need to have not just a thread, you need to have a repeatable thread where if you undo the tool head 4 times in a row, it doesn't then strip the part and you have to print another one.
Yep.
So, I mean, in theory, everything on the Voron, all of the tool heads, everything is all 3D printed. Obviously, you've got linear rails that aren't, and you've got, you know, things like that. But the whole tool head, the way it all of it's printed, it's just printed in ABS. Now, the softening temperature of ABS, if I recall correctly, is about 100 degrees. That's when it starts to soften, not when it melts. When it actually softens, whereas
possible.
PLA is like 60. If you put PLA in like 60-degree heat, it'll start to become malleable. Now most ABS like resin, if I remember rightly, has a temperature resistance of about 120. So in theory, from a temperature resistance perspective, you should be fine. But it's a question as to whether or not it has any flex in it at all, or whether the ABS is tough, but actually under mechanical stress would shatter. And I don't know the answer. I think it's really interesting.
Spring says hi, by the way.
Hey,
Hi, Spring.
I actually made your lamp, what I gave you, James, out of ABS resin, as far as I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But please don't destroy it.
I tell you what, I'm a contextually talented person, Matthew. But if I can make a Voron out of a lithophane, then I think I've ascended to a different plane of existence. Like it's not. I don't think that's how that works. So yeah. But yeah, I think it's just. I mean, it's just interesting. The thing is, obviously, resin can give you very, very dimensionally stable parts. It's very repeatable. It can give you very, very clean parts. You know, if you were doing sort of quite complex geometries around different fan trails and things like that, they're really cool. And the different effects you could get with resin, where when you put LEDs in, the whole thing lights up. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That side of it. Oh, is that the Foucault bunny?
Yeah, no, not the Focus. It was from Carl.
Oh, it's any cubic bunny, is it?
Spring is asking if you're in the UK. Yes, James is in the UK, and Vincent is in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone. That's 3D Mechanics. Let's take a look at this really quick.
So I finally got my side pods done.
Oh, nice.
From with the F303, still need to clean up, but
that looks pretty good.
So what's that on?
X303 from Prometheus for Stargate.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. I mean,
what was it printed?
Ender 3.
Really nice.
Yeah, take a look. I got it tuned and dialed in. Nice, man. Take a look.
Yeah, that is nice. I've just finished up the feet, or the initial feet for Doc Ock, and that has come out really nicely.
Yeah,
it's like a baby's foot, you know.
It's the size of a human head for scale. I don't have a banana, so you'll just have to guess what size my head is.
So I've got a question. Anybody worked with multicolor printers yet?
Yeah, don't.
So, okay, this is a hill I'm willing to die on. I think anyone who thinks they need to print with more than 2 materials is lying to themselves and everyone around them. So I understand dual tool heads, right? I understand IDEXs. I understand that you would print in, say, ABS and a PVA support material. I get that. I think that multicolor printing is pointless. I think that the best you can have is 3, maybe 4 colors. I think the palette does 5.
8.
The new one.
The palette is about the best you can get at the moment. But when you see the purge block that people have to use, it is such a waste of
Yeah,
material.
that's what I was looking at. If you see the purge block, that so much waste of filament.
Yeah,
Yep.
so much. So there's a couple of options with those. If I remember rightly, Prusa was beta testing doing the purge block as the infill of the model, but that's got to be relative to the size of the model. So basically it purges in the infill and then changes
Yeah.
color. Kind of get that. That would be all right, I guess. And the other is that you actually print the second model as the purge block. So it's doing both models at the same time, not as an IDEX, but it does one model and then it goes to do the other one. And it does them in sequence. And then you just have a
morning all.
You have one that's the color you want. Morning, Ray. You have one that's the color that you want and one that it just isn't. Again, seems objectively wasteful because if one's the color you want and one's the color you're not, why just print two anyway and paint them?
I thought so.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% get IDEXs, right? I don't like 2-in, 1-outs because again, even if you're trying to do just two materials, they're not good. IDEXs I get because that is a material for your print and another material for your supports.
An IDEX tool changer, that would be the best thing.
Wouldn't need an IDEX tool changer. That's just so there isn't an IDEX tool changer. An IDEX is two.
I know, but it would be nice to have.
Well, you're just describing a tool changer. It's not an IDEX after that. There'd be no need. An IDEX has two independent carriages, right? But if you look at an E3D tool changer, it's one tool head being used at any one time. Docs picks it up, which the Prusa XL is, the E3D tool changer is, and there's a couple of Chinese offshoots of those that are very similar as well.
It would become an IDEX if it both simultaneously can work on one object.
Yeah, but what would be the point? Because the only thing an IDEX can do that a tool changer can't is it can print in mirror mode, where it can be printing two of the same things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Which, okay, is a cool thing if whatever you are printing only takes up half your bed. But to change tools between two tool heads, I can't think of the point.
No, for different colors, so also, I always want to make a true colorful lithophane. And I've been thinking about different methods of how to do it. And I only came up with this method with a dual IDEX machine, what will be able to change out color filaments,
But you'd always be limited by the amount of space you had at the back of the machine to have extra tool heads. So you'd only ever be able to...
Not entirely true.
Wow, Jerry's still on.
You can have a wheel where the tools hang on and the wheel turns and then can attach itself onto it and then put it back and then the wheel turns and picks up the next one and then goes to the print.
What you have just described is so intensely complex that if I saw it on Iron Man, I would even say that Tony Stark was dreaming to think that was a simple way to achieve that. To say that you've got a rotating dock.
Yes, teaching tech is good. Sorry.
Yeah,
or a rail maybe what moves back and forwards. That could be.
That's even harder. That's so difficult.
I give you different choices. I just come up with different ideas.
Not different choices. They're both awful.
They're all awful. Period.
I calculated the time takes at least 3 times longer to print.
It'll be much easier.
If somebody in chat wants to have a crack, then
how
feel
do
free.
So Justin Lee asked, "How do you think about color filament?" I would guess you're talking about like rainbow filaments, which, I mean, that's kind of cool. But the new thing is like gradient filament, which has been around for a while. And that's some really cool stuff. So
it's cool. It's a cool effect. It's a bit like the bronze filaments and the silk filaments and all that.
Yeah, so I first saw gradient filaments at Murph in 2019, and I forgot the name of the company that made it, but the guy who made it, he runs the Resin 3D printer group on Facebook. And he ended up selling it to, I believe, Matter Hackers, and then Matter Hackers rebranded it under theirs, and now it's
can hear his whole conversation.
Yeah, so the reason why I was asking, I was looking for a second machine to get, and I was looking into trying out the G-Tech, I think.
Well,
But I seen a couple of them that had 3 extruders on the top.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. You're talking about the G-Tech resin?
No, FDM.
Okay. Just the
Right.
single one is fine. The single one is fine, but I have a dual core, the A30M, and this is a dual colored one, and you have to do maintenance every time you finish a print. If you don't do it, pull out the filament. It will the Boden tube. What's in the Boden tube? You just have to get it this far out of the into the Boden tube. The filament, because if it's inside on the heat block on the bottom, it will literally just melt itself there and start burning itself inside, and it starts clogging up the nozzle.
Okay, that's how it works.
So you have to clean it every time you finish it. It's a good machine if you want to use little pieces, like if you have leftover pieces. So you print one and one you put on, and then you fill it through 50%, and then when the other one goes empty, you just go on 100% on the other one, and then you put the next roll on and feed it into the second one, and then put that one on 50-50 again.
So basically, it's faster to paint.
Way more effort than it's worth, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a brilliant idea, don't get me wrong, but the concept doesn't work really well.
The wood filament, eh?
And you have bleeding too.
Britt, you can stop in too. I know you said you just took off your makeup, but you could always wear like a mask if you want.
So Resin Minis is saying, honestly, if people really want multicolor filament, just get a palette 2. And I don't disagree. Their splice core on the palette 2 is actually quite good now. Their palette 1 was a bit not ideal. There's still issues with the palette 2. So the palette 2 has a splice core in it that cuts 2 pieces of filament and then basically melts them back together to try and transition the color. It's not perfect. You still normally require a purge block, and it's fine. Like it's just not what people think it is, right? So people often think that it's something like. So Da Vinci had a go at this a little while ago. Da Vinci did, and they didn't do a particularly good job of it, but it was a absorbent filament that was proprietary, I might add, that went into their Da Vinci. I'm sure it was called the Multicolor Pro or something. And basically, as the filament went in, it dyed the filament with an ink, almost like an inkjet printer. And it did not do well. So it was not popular. Da Vinci have had a lot of issues with proprietary sort of technology and things like that. They locked down their ecosystem. Their consumables are quite expensive, and the ink used to dry out as well. So if you didn't use the printer for a week and you went back to it, pretty much all the proprietary ink was gone. So it wasn't particularly well. It wasn't particularly well executed. But yeah, the problem is that I think people, if you're doing 1 or 2 colors, cool, black and white, do a penguin, red and blue, do the Maker Hub Spaceman or whatever, the Maker Base Spaceman, fine. But any more than 2 colors, and after that, just paint it. Like you're not going to get the sharp colors. You're not going to get the effect that you want, and you're adding so much complexity to the machine.
I don't know. I thought with the palette, I mean, the palette is of course wasteful, but I did see some very nice work with the palette where they made, I think, a Simpson statue out of it, and was very nice. A Bart one.
Sorry?
A Bart statue, like Bart Simpson statue.
Bart Simpson?
Okay. Yeah, and they had yellow, his red t-shirt, I think was it, and then blue shorts.
So if you've got something like in that particular use case, right, where you've got an animated character who has very sort of block colours, where he is yellow with no shading, his eyes are white, his pupils are black. I kind of get but like, I mean, if you were talking about trying to produce something like this guy, right?
That's awesome.
So, so something like this, you would never be able to produce this with a multicolor printer, right? Although he is blue and white,
maybe
what makes him look all right. I mean, I'm not the best painter in the world, I know, but like, what makes him look better is it's the shading, or it's the highlights, it's the lowlights, it's those nuances of color and transition and the lighting that no matter what you do with colored filament, you're just not going to be able to do. There's too much transition and shading. Yeah. Right. Although he is blue and white, what makes him look all right.
Somebody's got feedback.
I was going to say, someone, do I sound like that? That's unfortunate. I'm very sorry.
Yes, you sound that awful.
Made our ears bleed.
There's too much transition and shading. I airbrush all my prints. Seen some interesting mods that people have modded their printer to add Sharpies. Yeah, I've seen that, but apparently it rubs off when it goes in the hot end.
Yeah.
Color the print with modification. Yeah, weren't we talking about that yesterday, Matt?
What?
Didn't you print off something like that for the Sharpie thing? But you were saying like it came off? I swore you printed like a Sharpie modification or something. You were showing it yesterday in white. A pen holder or something.
Oh, pen holder? No, that's not me. Okay. I didn't do pen holder.
All right.
I did mice. I did rabbits this week and mice.
All right, I'm just losing my mind, man. I guess I don't know.
No, maybe it's both of us, but.
So basically, it's worth the money to buy an airbrush kit if I do more painting.
So I mean, don't be wrong.
There's a
learning curve. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not you don't just pick it up and off you go. And I mean, I'm by no means. I mean, so for me, there's a point when you look at some people who do their paints, right, especially Warhammer painters, where it stops being about technical skill and it becomes art, right?
Yeah,
I can paint a wall, but I can't paint a mural. Do you know what I mean? Because I can paint in a straight line and I can do block colors and I can do a little bit of light and transitioning and things like that. But I'm not an artist. And when you look at like some of the Warhammer models, where on one of their pauldrons, like this is on like a model that's this big. They've drawn out a scene that's like, it's like a little art scene that's on one of the pauldrons, and you're like, dude, I don't feel like you get enough sunlight. Like you spend a lot of time inside, and I'm concerned about your overall health. Like, you need a multivitamin in the morning or something. Like, you're going to get rickets.
Oh God! Don't get me started.
But it's the level of dedication those guys have got. Like, it's absolutely mad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so much. I mean,
and that's how you can paint the Sistine Cathedral painting on the ceiling. You know.
So what I do is I normally do block colors to start with, and then I airbrush highlights, lowlights, and do my lighting and my shading and my washes. Sith Lord saying it wouldn't be a bad idea to use the palette as a base, so you could just airbrush it. The problem with doing that, nerds, the problem with doing that is if you don't prime your models, the acrylic paint will literally just rub straight off. Okay. So what you would have to do is you would have your block colors printed. You'd have to do acrylic paint over the top, and then you'd have to use a lacquer spray over the whole model to make sure none of that paint just lifted.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what sort of effects you would really get. I mean, like, so something like, so something like this guy.
Nerds. Wait a second. Yeah.
if I'd have started with him where he was green, there was still so much low lighting and highlighting that I would have needed to have done that the original filament color would have made almost no difference.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't save me any time in the paint job. To be
But
fair,
if you paint a lot,
does.
if you paint a lot, do you use like black or white filament, or try to do the color that you need to use
Yeah,
for
I mean,
painting?
generally I just use black, but then I prime in. So then I've started doing my zenithal highlighting, which I never used to do before. So I normally now prime it in a black primer, and then I do my white zenithals. Tell them about enamel over acrylic. Jay. Oh yeah, so if you were to do an enamel paint over the top of an acrylic, then the enamel paint sets like it bakes. Jerry, sorry, you said earlier that we're welcome back on your streams anytime. It's just a timing thing at the moment, so it's genuine because the time zones are difficult because you normally go live at like 11 p.m. our time.
9 o'clock our time.
Oh, 9 o'clock our time, and by that point on a Saturday, I'm
James is old, so he's got.
I'm old, so I'm normally I'm normally half asleep by that point, or I'm covered in paint.
There she is.
He's an early bird.
Like so I mean I've been up this morning since like 4:30. Hey Seth Lord,
how goes it?
Right.
Well, so yeah, you're not wrong. You could theoretically print in a palette and start with base colors, but you'd have to do a decent number of clear coats and things like that to stop the acrylic from rubbing off over the top. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how much
it's
time
not
it would take.
ideal. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But it's
if
also
you were
nice
doing
if you
big models, so like the amount of paint that I use on something like Hulkbuster, where he's like nearly a meter tall, like something like him, it like the amount of paint you use just to get base colors down is insane. Like I just use rattle cans on him because it's just easier. But yeah, stuff like that you can do.
I'm always thinking in terms of cosplay as well, as opposed to models.
Yeah, so
I'm always thinking if someone damages something or cracks something, it's nice to have that color underneath.
So something like.
Man, it got quiet all of a sudden. Oh, James is away.
Oh, nice, nice Mando blaster.
So like if we do a Mandalorian one or something, this all started in black, and then we, if you're using rub and buff to try and get your metal effects, then starting in black does save you a decent chunk of time. But doing something like that is pretty
Carl
cool.
says hi.
Did you top coat that?
Yeah.
What did you top coat it with?
So it's rub and buff on a base, and then I did a clear gloss top. I wanted to give it a shine, but I still kind of wanted it to look a bit beaten up. So
I was going to say it looks much shinier than rub and buff usually ends up. That's what I was.
Yeah, and it's
that looks great.
Hey Carl.
I mean, don't be wrong. It's not like event nice.
Hi, Matt.
It's fine.
Oh, hi.
So
Matt
this is
and Matt.
how far I got with my Prometheus at the moment.
So that looks really like the Stormbird from Warhammer.
I don't know. Still need some work and have to file out the openings to click everything together. But
Are you gonna light it? Does it? Can you light the inside or anything?
no.
No. Okay.
So I'm still working on it, and I'm printing the top part here. So the outside of the top part of the ship, and then still have to make all the guns, and then I'm almost finished. Then I'm gonna take it apart again, and then clean everything up, and then repaint. But took me a while. Only using one printer. I got one printer.
Oh. You're in the one printer club?
Yeah, for now.
No,
I had a
resin.
Okay, but no, I'm talking about FDM. I had a second one.
I feel like it
but
doesn't count. Yeah.
I had a second one, but I gave it to my cousin because he wanted to 3D print.
Are they little mice, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah,
those
they
are
look
cute.
cool.
James, is the sun shining off
Getting
you
another one.
in the window?
What was that, Ray?
Is the sun in sunshine by you?
Yeah, just about. I mean, it's like 8 a.m. here. So
It's snowing here.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
Oh, when I have time, I will feel sorry for you. We have cold weather, but
Major, you know, the snow is coming to you.
Oh, no. We're not going to get any snow. No. It's going to stay out of England.
Yeah, we've spent the last sort of... so we've probably spent the last 200 years really putting a lot of pollution into the atmosphere around England to stop that kind of thing. We decided very early on that snow wasn't for us. So we've all been just standing outside with cans of hairspray since the early 60s, just desperately trying to warm the place up.
Okay, I was about to ask a really dumb question because I see Minnesota Cowboy said it's 2:05 here, and I was just about to ask him, hey, where are you located at? It says right in your name.
Yeah.
I'm awake, I swear.
And this is basically my first ship that I'm printing, so I've got another couple in mind. So I'm still learning as I go.
That's brilliant.
We're learning always, day out, day in.
Yep.
So I have got a picture, Jerry, of my starship. He's dead quietly.
Spring says hi, Brit, and so does Carl.
Hey, Spring.
Oh, maybe I haven't actually. That's the wrong ship.
You know, I found out that my lamps make great holders for my headsets.
The what do? The mic? What?
For my headsets, you know.
Oh, the lamps. Oh, okay.
Aquanet. Yeah. That's my go-to.
Perfectly around it, you know.
So that's the if Matt clicks the picture. This is the Terran battle cruiser I did from.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to come over.
Nice picture.
Hold on. Do you still have that model?
Not on me.
Oh. I absolutely love StarCraft. Now I'm a Protoss guy, but still, that's awesome.
That's
that
was awesome.
That is 1.2 meters wide and 1.1 meters long. It was the first big model.
Yes, Spring Brit is a female maker. She does all kinds of different crafts too, not just 3D printing.
Oh, Spring got an eye on you, Brit.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the Terran battle cruiser. Yeah.
That
was one of the first times I did a big print. Yeah, that was the first time I did something.
Now you just need to do like the StarCraft Protoss carrier.
So I have seen
all the little ones.
The problem is that I would have to light it, and I don't know fiber optics enough and an Arduino to be. So that one does actually light up, and that took longer than I'm happy with to figure out how to make that work.
Well worth the time, in my opinion.
So when it's lit, it looks like
it's really lit, bro.
When it's lit, it's lit. Hold on, not that one.
Sounds like you play with fire a lot.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm very concerned whenever I have something that plugs into the mains because I'm 100% going to set something on fire with this. Like, there's just no way this is going to end well.
Well, you're not a tripod.
Yeah, but that just means I light it from far away. It doesn't. Doesn't solve the problem. It's still on fire. It's just the other side of the room. So,
oh wow!
Did you post these pictures anywhere?
Yeah.
Is the light goes on and off on the back or always on?
Yeah. So the engine lights, the blue lights pulse, and then the other lights are just lights. So this is how ridiculous my my lighting experience is. The only way I could figure out how to light that was I just literally balled up a bunch of LED strip and I stuffed it inside, and then I just turned it on, and there was enough ambient glow that it worked. So yeah.
That I have tried last week with cables in the Resident, and it was fucked up.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's cool, man.
That's nice.
And the coolest
there
thing
you
is,
go. You printed them. Did you put lights in them?
That's cute.
I can't hear you, Vincent.
Can't hear you, Vincent, but it looks cool.
I accidentally pressed the microphone up. I still have to do the wires in there.
Okay. I just printed it solid.
Oh, that's awesome.
nice.
Oh, that is cool.
I was tinkering with it, and I had plastic inserts for the eyes. And I was looking into my bins, and I got a lot of LED stuff here. And I thought, 10 millimeters. Hold on. Wait, it fits in the eyes. And I think next one, I'm going to do the wiring and trying to light them up.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Battery Not Included, I remember that movie was one of my favorite movies. Or it's still one of my favorite movies. Childhood movies.
So Matt from Le Sanguinaire he has introduced me to the concept of kit bashing, which is not something that I've so I've always, whenever I've tried to build anything, I've always tried to do it from like scratch, and I'm stupid, so doing that is a ridiculous idea because I just electrocute myself or the people around me. So Matt did a really cool full-size C3PO, and it's motion activated. And I was like, how did you do that? It makes like C3PO noises and all that stuff. I was like, that's amazing. And he said, oh yeah, I went to like the charity shop and I bought an old C3PO money bank that when you put money in it, there's a little sensor that detects money's gone through, and then C3PO says something, and he just ripped out all the electronics and put it into a 3D print, and he was like, that's how the motion works. And I was like, that's genius. Like, all pre-programmed, everything.
I'm almost done with my first droid, but he's not going to have any robotics.
Is this a droid we're looking for?
Are you doing a Bedeli? Are you
my what?
I said, is it the droids we're looking for?
I don't know. You guys tell me.
We're gonna stop. Too nerdy.
Nerds. Here's my droid. Guys, such nerds. Come look at my robot. All right, so he has some bracers on him still right now because he's still curing, but it's my little BD unit.
That's cool. Wow. So is he? Yeah, I like him.
So Krusty actually printed the pieces. I'm printing the exact same files out.
I have only Terminator.
His legs are going to be stationary, but I've actually left the head open because he just has this simple little neck piece. And so I'm going to hopefully replace his neck with a little swivel joint on the interior of his head so that he can actually, I just want him to be posable. So I'm guessing I'm going to need some like rubber gaskets and things, but because his head has so much space in it, I'm going to try to do lights behind his eyes. I haven't attached his face yet because I need magnets.
Yeah.
There we go. There's his little face. So
that's
we
cool.
did a little bit of a different color scheme with a rose gold because you don't see a lot of rose gold in Star Wars, but I at least want his head to be posable. And then I think because this was like the set of files from Thingiverse, it wasn't made.
Thingiverse one, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's not the one commonly used in the droid building community. I can't remember the guy who made them. Forgive me.
Mr. Bedeli is the one who does a lot of the droid building ones, and he's done a lot of he's done like pit droids and things like that, and a lot of his ones are designed for robotics. So he's got one where like a little droid sitting on a track thing, and as it turns, like its hands move little levers and stuff. So cool, and it's 100%.
You know who I'm talking about. So his are hollowed out. in a way that are necessary for all those bits and bobs. However, mine's not. But I can't imagine that this is not enough space for a simple LED and battery pack, right?
Oh yeah.
Like there has to be,
sure.
and then the swivel joint that I want on the interior is going to be a little bit large, but I don't mind. We'll do some drilling. I think he's super cute. He's like 300% larger than what he should be. I think he's supposed to be able to sit on your shoulder, like
a parrot.
But still, it's kind of cool. You could have him like in the background, just like watching.
Yeah, he's just gonna be a prop for me. This is just a prop for myself. By the way, hey Jerry.
Put like a little camera inside.
Spring says she's really happy to see it.
That's so great about the character. He's just so cute with his little head tilts and his chirps.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm sure he's done a BB. I'm sure he's done. I'm sure he's done.
He has.
One.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I can't remember how his moves, but I don't think he's done one where it's like. I think the head just moves. Maybe I don't think it does anything else. I can't remember.
That's like my first. This is my gateway droid, as I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
Now that I've done it, I'm like already planning out the next two that I want to build. You know.
I did a Wally. And I did the one from Gambody, and he's really cool, but he looks like he should move, and he doesn't. So his head is too heavy. I scaled him up, which I definitely shouldn't have done, and he's so big that I bought these big, they're like Phanon lenses that you normally would put over. Matt, you'll probably remember them. They are the domes that you used to be able to buy to put on 3D printers, on resin printers that go actually over the lens to spread the light out to give a more even coverage. Do you remember? Because you used to get flat LED panels.
Yes.
And then someone brought out these they look like aero bars.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like big lenses. And
like
I
a
used those
diffuser
for his eyes. And somehow the lenses that I had were a perfect fit, which was 100% an accident.
What's this page? You can get it on youtube.com/AkumaMods. You can chat.
So Matt, I'm not going to lie. I'm just kind of invested, and I want to know if 9 has hands yet.
So I just finished washing his other hand.
Okay.
So he's good. We did print off Mr. Angry, though.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's cool.
I do have another version, which is hollow, because I wanted to do a comparison for people. Because, basically, the slicer says that this is like a $7 print, and that's saying that it's a $4 print, and it's hollowed out, and, I'm basically going to do a comparison between it. But this is from David Chambers. He's a UK guy. He might even be stopping in here at some point. But that one was really, really cool.
Great.
Not the greatest with pitting and stuff like that, but it's easily sandable if we want to paint it. But I did finish Darkwing Duck, his cape, so we got that going. I have 9's other hand. It's waiting to dry so we can cure all this stuff. And then, probably by the time the stream ends, we'll have them all finished. But because he's at
that 9 looks insane.
Yeah, he's at 99%.
Yeah, the texture on that's
oh my god,
model.
He's so great. I love that model.
It's such a little cult classic film as well. So many people just don't know the film, and then you try to explain it to them, and it sounds so weird when you try to explain it.
It's subscribe if you can.
It's like Toy Story. Tim Burton got his hands on it. You can't really explain the plot of the film to anybody.
Yeah, and then you guys, I don't know if you guys were on the live stream when I did this too. Basically, I did a lot yesterday. I've been on a
roll.
No, not on a roll, but lacking of a roll, just time paralysis basically. And all these models have been sitting here for probably 3 months now. I'm not even joking. So I finally got yesterday on live stream, and I built all these guys because these are all pieced together models, and this is another one. We still got to print one more part of the base, and then I gotta finish it up. That's what's printing on the Anycubic Photon Max, so hopefully it comes out this time. But yeah, he's pretty much done. He just needs a base, and then we have his finished base on there, and that's pretty much it. So we're good for the
That's
most part.
cool. That is cool.
All right, we got Salsa. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Hey,
hey, what's up?
There we go.
Nice to
Nothing
meet you.
much, man. How's it going?
Hey, so far so good.
Good, good.
Today a lot of views.
Oh. So yeah, we're just going around showing off models.
Uh, well, actually, I get a wash and cure from Anycubic for $20 here in Costa Rica. I'm from Costa Rica, so usually Latin person. But well, I got a secondhand Anycubic wash and cure, really, really damaged. I mean, with resin all over the cover, all over the case. So I spent near 8 hours today just polishing
Cleaning.
the machine. So let me show you here.
Oh wow.
This is how it looks.
so how?
And
Okay,
the
so
whole
I've got to
piece
know.
was something like this.
How did you clean that? Because every
Yeah.
time I've put IPA on any of my acrylic, it's then almost immediately exploded. So so how did you clean that? Because I've never successfully cleaned a resin printer, and I've owned them for like 6 years. All of
I
mine are
agree.
Look, truly honest, well, right here in Costa Rica, we have a WhatsApp group with kind of a bunch of people. So I ask on this group, hey guys, I want to to please let me know what's the best method you use to clean up, because I mean, if I damage this thing, I don't care. I will just throw it away and get one new from eBay, something like that, right? So they told me to use acetone. They told me to use isopropylic alcohol. But the only thing that actually works was sandpaper. So
Oh.
I use 1500 grit sandpaper, then 2000 grit, and then I use a buffing wheel, medium pad
Yep.
with soft compound, and really do it really really slow because I tried doing it hard, doing it keeping it in one place. The cover actually damaged really really easy. I mean, you have no idea how easy it's is to damage the zinc, but if you do it with a lot of patience, believe me,
I've not got any.
I mean, I can go ahead and share on my TikTok channel how the this piece was, and well, believe me, you will notice a huge difference in between.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I'm not gonna lie. The second I don't even sand my prints. I'm not starting to sand my printers. Like, I've got that level of dedication. They could just be gross. I'm gonna just live with it. Like they're in a cupboard, no one sees them. It's only to satisfy my own brain. Matt, you're on mute.
Yeah, if you're somebody that really wants a nice looking printer that's looks kind of new, well, that's the work you got to put in. Which I kind of figured that's
I'll
what
just
was
live
going to
with it being
happen.
gross.
let me try it this way. Let me see if you can see it. So that's how it looks. It was actually
Yeah.
really damaged. The piece
Wow.
you were not able to see. I mean, right here the wash and cure part was inside of this thing, and you cannot actually see the basket dried, for example. So it
Yeah.
was really really damaged with a lot of resin, a lot of scratches and stuff. But yeah. So over 8 hours, just with the sandpaper working on that. But well, that was kind of a nice job
It
done
looks
today.
great now.
Thank you.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, looks nice.
I definitely know the dedication for that. If I have to sand a print for more than 3 minutes, I immediately get bored and I go and have a sandwich. Like I can't. It's like I mean, it's like with the cosplay stuff when people make stuff out of the like I watch people make it out of the EVA foam, and as I'm watching them, I get tired. I'm already like I don't know how they don't go around all the time with like claw hands from where they've had to grip a piece of sandpaper for like 8 hours to try and get it smooth. I'm like, no, not for me, thank you. I'll just wear regular people clothes and compliment people who do the costumes. Like
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
It's pretty awful. Then having to deal with Bondo and resin and all the other things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I've just started using Replaflow. So it's like an activated resin, and you literally paint it on, and you use like 1,000 grit sandpaper to go over it 3 or 4 times, and it's smooth. So I used it on Captain America's shield. I used it on that Osriel that I did. So there were some parts on the Osriel that I did that were really ropey. It was just the way the model had been cut. There really wasn't a lot of choices in print orientation. So I was sort of stuck with supports where they were, and some of the places were really obvious places. And I was like, "This is going to look bad." And then I put a coat of Replaflow on it, and then I sanded it back, and a really light sand, and my god, it was nice.
So James, basically you are kind of tired on looking on Matt sandpaper with the sandpaper on his models now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about this?
He's trying to get rid of the.
I use it Dremel.
I printed this directly on the build plate, so it's got the little nubs from the build plate.
Yeah,
they're almost gone now, but
yeah. So the amount of time Matt's already spent,
to get it out of there.
I wouldn't do that. That's he's only been doing it for like 3.5 minutes. That's already too many minutes. I don't have that many minutes. It's not for me. It's like I hate painting.
You need like a bell sender or something where you just can hold it towards it and then.
Yeah,
that might be too much.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, I was going to say it melts the filament. That's the problem.
No, that's not filament that's resin print what you have.
I suppose you could probably do it on resin actually, because resin wouldn't melt, but resin would the heat it would generate, the resin would burn.
No. Resin will not burn.
No, I tried it.
What if you were to do that level? If you were to put like a belt sander onto a resin, it wouldn't like.
No, I mean, more or less, you would probably just rip right through it out of anything.
Yeah.
Resin does not resin is very resilient. It's probably just as resilient as ABS is, if not more, in terms of heat.
I was gonna say, you mean with heat? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like obviously, if I drop this on the floor, okay, it might shatter, but.
You know the lamp what I designed for you, James?
Yep.
This is fireproof. I made it for you. Yeah, just as James.
I don't want to know how you know that. Like that. That feels like you tried setting it on fire before you sent it to me, and I don't think that's constructive like that.
I printed 2 models.
Right. One you set on fire, and the other one you. And then you just decided how I treated you over the next month. Decided on which one I got, whether it was a burned effigy of us or whether it was the nice version.
No,
literally
you
just
always want to
threw
get an up to white. It's a nice version.
Hey Tim, by the way,
this really beautiful combi stick that was solid resin because it shattered.
Hey, Tim, but by the way, nice to meet you all. I think I was very rude just entering and jumping in. Thank you so much, AkumaMods or Matt.
Yeah, you're welcome to join anytime, bud. Anytime that I'm online.
I love your channel. Actually, I am. If I can introduce with you, I am kind of new on this. I am a 35 guys EMT, a former EMT here in Costa Rica. So I decided to start with a laser and a 3D printed entrepreneurship, so I can get a little more funds on my day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
So I started with the most basic Ender 3 Pro, and then when I noticed,
kryptonite. How dare you say that, man?
Love-hate relation.
So it's a big joke. Anybody mentions Ender 3, and it's like cringeworthy.
Oh, okay. Good thing mine's not sitting behind me right now.
Well, the main deal is that here in Costa Rica, it's quite hard to actually get the printers, right? So we have just like a couple of dealerships. So basically, we need to go and get into the outlets, the Amazon outlets here in Costa Rica, so we can get a second-hand Ender 3, for example, for over $300 American dollars.
Oh wow!
That's
Yeah,
a lot of money.
and I'm talking about the standard one, right?
How much you pay for
Is
filament?
for
I
about
imagine
50, $60.
Woo!
That's expensive.
because they have to fly everything in or ship everything in.
No,
Yep.
because because right here in Costa Rica, the let's call it the IRS, but basically the government that is taking the taxes. We get like 29% on import fees. So yeah,
Whoa.
and
With
plus
20%.
yeah, so plus the shipping and well, everybody needs to get a bit more of money, right? So we can get like Chinese filaments for like $20, something like that, right? But I mean, it's a pain to actually deal with those. So we have Polymaker, Polylite, and Overture, a couple of dealers that actually gets really decent prices with $45, and but well, it's quite a part, right? And
Yeah, that's quite expensive.
if we are talking about this, that is the box of resin. This liter, this one here, it's brand new. I just get it today. It's an anycubic white resin, right?
Same one I have.
Yep.
So basically, this thing it's $80.
Whoa!
Wow! Holy crap!
And well, as you might know, because I'm pretty sure that you have more time than I, people don't want to pay for the stuff, right? So they try to get just kind of the most cheapest because they think, oh come on, man, it's plastic. Well, everyone can do plastic. Really? Try
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Go buy a. First
Very
of
true.
all, you know how to level. If you know how to level your bet, you're ready to do it. But otherwise, don't try to put a price on me.
Yep.
So, so that's pretty much the situation here in Costa Rica. Right now, we are well at least the group that I belong to, we are like over 60 or 70 people right there. We are always trying to look for discounts. We were trying to get some GST filaments from the States, but well, it was for the 100 filaments. We had to pay like $8,000, something like that. So, nope.
Jesus.
No. That's a big
Okay, I'm not gonna complain anymore with the prices there. Yeah. Wow.
I was gonna say nobody has a right to complain anymore.
Jeez.
God.
So
and,
Look,
and
filament.
we're not talking and we're not talking about special filaments. So for
Yeah.
example, I have some carbon fiber
Yeah.
filaments. I have a couple of rolls of carbon fiber. Those are for over 120 bucks. But well, we're crossing fingers to start getting more people into the community so we can start getting more and best prices.
Yeah.
Knitted
Something
to the
like
craft. Wow.
All right, Carl, have a good one. What's up,
Hi,
Katja?
Carl.
something like this dryer, it's $95.
$95.
Dat is de sun dryer van Sunlu.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sunlu and Hayo. Yeah.
Jalo.
And you said you're in Costa Rica?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the happiest place on the world. We don't care about prices. We just spend all the money we
So I
have.
mean, there is kind of an upside to this. Like you live in a very beautiful place where you're surrounded by lots of ocean side, but yeah, you guys get to pay a lot of money for things. That's the
Expensive
unfortunate
hobbies. Yeah.
And actually for basically anything, right? So for example, we have to pay from our salary at least 12% for social security from your gross profits, right?
That's
Plus
nothing.
another 13% for taxes to your salary. So just with that, you're over 25% of your salary off just for the government. So yeah,
In
it's
Germany, you pay
Oh, yeah.
56%. 50
Yeah,
to
so
56% tax.
I pay like 45%. So like
yeah, but I bet that you don't. I mean, I can bet that your salary is not $1,000 a month.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not going to out myself.
And you are not paying $80 for that
I'm
either,
sorry,
right?
James. Were you saying something?
No, it's not that.
Hey, I guess all of you are from UK, right?
No, I'm from the Netherlands.
Netherlands and
Yeah,
Vincent?
near the city of Rotterdam.
So it's kind of funny. We have 2 UKs, we have 2 Netherlands, we have 2 USA, and then we have you. So we need to find another guy from Costa Rica or girl.
Okay, we have
everyone
one
is sleeping
invite
now.
for Costa Rica.
Here in Costa Rica, it's 1:45 a.m. on the morning.
Must be
You
nice.
can ask Matt.
Yep.
Here I was thinking like, oh, Matt and I must be the only 2 people who never sleep. But I swear to God, at all hours of the day, I see Vincent and Matt, the other Matt, always up. Do you guys ever sleep?
Yeah,
Nope.
Matt,
You guys rest?
They never sleep. Vincent,
Matt never
Oh my
sleeps.
God. I just realized
I
around my
sleep.
lunchtime. They were
Normal
up
in
and
the
up around my
Netherlands
lunchtime.
is the day begun on 7 o'clock.
I sleep about 4 hours.
Yeah,
I sleep maybe 2 hours a day.
Vince, you sleep? No, you're always awake.
When you have a dream, you never sleep. You always pursue your dream.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. My mom is paying a visit, so.
I keep
All right, sir.
Enjoy.
I go a really different way.
Peace
My mom's knocking on my basement door, so I've got to leave. I was like, oh no.
Lock the basement. Lock the door. Lock the door.
Wow.
So Sithlock, yeah, that's the Repliflow stuff. So I used Repliflow on this guy. So move the microphone out of the way. So
Oh, okay. So busting out the ridiculous Azrael print. All right.
So I used the Repliflow on this.
No
So you
hablo spico. Your microphone's too far.
Oh, okay.
You're like very, very mute.
There we go. I used Repliflow on this.
Sorry, was the sound they got me. Okay, so I'm curious. It's like an air dry because it says it has an accelerant or
yeah. So
it's
a two-part resin. The activator just literally cures it.
So it's an AB resin that you just put on.
Yeah, it's workable for about 10 minutes. You make it up in small batches normally when you're doing it. Then it's cured and ready to sand inside of half an hour of applying it. You do a really thin coat. You paint it on we literally paint it on with a regular brush. It's completely self-leveling, and you can see. So on the pauldrons and stuff on this, I used Repliflow on this, and I didn't lose any of the detail in anything. I used it all over his tabard and everything, and I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose any detail.
What about the texture of it though? Is it thinner?
It seems. I don't really know how it does it. I think it's
like in comparison to a UV resin.
So in comparison, so UV resin tends to go on quite thick, and it does end up diluting the detail. But all this chainmail down the side, this all has the Repliflow on it, and it didn't change the texture of it at all. Like it literally.
Yeah, it looks great.
So he came out, and then I used the stone spray on the bottom because it just saved me so much time. It was mad.
Just knowing what I know of resin, I'm just curious. The Repliflow is more beneficial because it's an AB, maybe it warps a little bit less than using UV?
So it doesn't. Yeah,
because I know that sometimes using UV on the tops of things, I've seen it crack.
Yeah, so there's no
break.
It's not UV reactive, that resin, so it just cures. It just cures like a normal. But
what's the benefit to using Repliflow as opposed to putting
way easier
on top and curing it?
Yeah, so way easier to sand it.
Okay.
Like a couple of passes, and you can get. So the guy who makes it, they actually do like showcase pieces for like promotional stuff. So at the moment, he's doing a giant perfume bottle for a trade show.
Okay.
But you do a couple of passes with 1,000 grit sandpaper, and if you if you were to black coat it if you were to coat it in like in a high gloss black, it's a mirror finish. And he's actually I don't know if you're on the Sanix page, but he's the guy doing the giant Fabergé egg. So he's done a Fabergé egg that's sort of about, I don't know, something like it's well over a meter tall. And he printed that on a modified CR10 S5 with a 1mm nozzle. He's chrome plated it, and it looks like a mirror when you're looking in it. It's completely, it's a complete. It doesn't look like it's 3D. You wouldn't know if I didn't tell you it was 3D printed. You wouldn't know. It looks cast.
He actually chrome plated it, or like chrome.
No,
like
he's chrome
powder
plated.
or paint.
So he uses. The video's been around for ages. He uses a heat-activated chrome paint. And when everybody saw it working, a bunch of people called, like, they were like, yeah, that's fake. There's no way that works. I've seen him do it, and it does. But it goes on, like, it goes on in a spray.
Powder coating?
Basically, it's not powder coating. It's like it's a spray that he puts on, and then he applies heat, and it goes chrome. Like, it's insane watching. I find the thing.
But you can apply the heat for the powder.
I was gonna say, because it doesn't
to the resin.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let me see if
the black high gloss sounds very much like the powder coating process, or if you do like a rub, like the rubbing powder. Like the superfine mica powder, like that's something that you do to prime it for that. I don't know the rules of the actual chroming process. It's one thing I don't know anything about.
I have a really nice. I have a nice video on how to do the actual chrome. Brit, if you want, I can go ahead and send you. I don't know where.
I know how to do like the paint and powder. So what I use both sprays, like nothing in a rattle can is going to get it, but like the spaz sticks and things where it's the mica that's suspended in a super fine, in like a really, really thin liquid. And I have some resin processes and stuff I use for that, but like actual chrome plating, right? Like that whole process
with
is really
chemicals.
intense. I was going to say, would you have to paint it if you're actually chrome plating it beforehand? I don't know anything about chrome plating.
So chrome plating is a bit different. Chrome plating, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's almost like anodizing, where you literally you have to do a coat, you have to do a base coat of something first, and then you dip it in, and as you dip it in, it activates something that causes it to chrome plate. Like he does do proper chrome plating as well, but if I bring up, so I'll just show the pictures of
James, just in case the link that you just shared, I don't know from which group is, but it's not available for anyone outside the group.
Oh, because it's in Sanix's group, that's why. And I can't rip the video either.
All right, can you let Matt know? Thank you for letting me come on after pop off.
Yep, we won't tell him. Don't worry.
Get some sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep
I know.
for the week, Matthew.
Actually, I have to go over to my flat and empty the rest of the stuff out what I have because I'm still in the process of moving, and I've been moving for the past months, and it's a hassle, especially if you have back problems and knee problems, and
I imagine so.
Too much work.
I've always thought of you as an incredibly powerful person, Matthew. I never thought any of those things were things that would bother you.
I used to be, but the older you get, as the weaker you get.
And weirdly, the stronger your wife becomes.
I know.
Not saying that you're speaking off of you, but it does seem to be that way. Like I saw her lifting a car the other day.
Transfer of power.
Not my wife. Not my future wife.
Almost wife, yeah.
See you, Matt.
That's a dark side power right there.
See ya.
Have a good one.
See you, Matt.
Come on.
So this is the chrome-plated Fabergé egg.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that looks great.
And then that is the size of it.
Holy cow!
Nice.
So it's well over a meter tall, all in. He prints it obviously in sections, but he uses something called PLA stick, which is like it's a bit like 3D gloop, where it's a chemical glue rather than a acrylate. So when you're using super glue, you'll often find that over time the joint that you've glued will become brittle, and any sort of like any shock can shatter the joint because the glue breaks. But with PLA gloop or with the PLA stick that he uses, it melts the two surfaces together, so they're chemically bonded. So you will rip apart layers before you rip apart the join on those models. And then he's coated all of that in the Replaflow, and then he's done the chrome on top, which he's then put a red lacquer on to give it the red tint. But it's like the work he does it's insane. He did I don't know if you remember seeing it. It was on a few of the groups a while ago. He did a giant 7 foot tall Hulk. He did a big Hulk that he did it for a TCT show. But he did that, and that was all printed on a 1mm nozzle. And when you see it in person, it looks like it's cast. You wouldn't know that it was 3D printed, and again, unless he told you. Like, it's insane.
That's crazy.
He does amazing stuff. What's more annoying is when you actually see his print quality. It's actually not that good. Like, the print quality he's doing is like, it's fine, but it's not that good. And then he's just got such a fantastic like post-processing process that that it's just insane what he's producing at the moment. It's so cool.
Hey, can I share something to you guys?
Yeah.
Look, this is something. Yes, I want to share my screen. Select the Windows screen. Where is your screen? Screen 1. Wow. So this is something that one of my peers on the 3D print group is currently doing. Can you see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
So, yeah. So I'm not sure why, but right here in Costa Rica, we kind of love the matte, not the with no gloss finish.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of the stuff that my peers kind of do here in Costa Rica. But I'm really wondering, James, if you have any link or anything that we can actually check or review about this Chrome processing, right? The link I posted.
Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I've got his chat. I've got his Instagram up here, and I'm just looking to see if he's got anything.
The link I posted is for the actual chemical reaction to do the Chrome process. But,
yeah,
well,
that's the much more intensive, like, professional process.
Yeah.
Right.
So
there's a lot of ways to mimic something similar without having to go to that intensity.
So, for example, this piece, it's actually printed. Matt, you will love this in an Ender 3. So,
That's actually not too bad quality.
sorry?
That's pretty good quality.
Yeah, I mean, we need to work with what we have, right? So if we just have filament, we need to learn how to do it and try to get the best from the filament, right? Because I mean, for resin, it's really expensive to actually get the stuff.
Yeah, for you guys, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So as long as if it's not a massive surface, oh, that's beautiful too. If it's not a really large surface, if you prime it well, if you sand it down really well, and you prime it with the black high gloss, there's a product here that people really like to airbrush on as long as, again, it's like has to be absolutely perfect underneath. It's an art pen, the Molotow pen.
Yeah.
And you can actually just buy the refills. Oh, you have one right there. Yeah, they're expensive pens, but a little bit goes a long way. So if it's a smaller piece, if it's something that's, handheld, or it's just minor details, then that's worth looking into as well. But it's 20 times better than anything you can get out of a rattle can, but also not as expensive or intensive as the whole true chroming process. Because I'm watching that restoration video on my other screen here. I could watch those videos all day. I love those like antique show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where they take something that's like rusted out. They strip the paint off of everything. They take it all the way down and then they build it back up. I love those videos.
So that's where I actually came across Rub and Buff originally. Like I didn't know about Rub and Buff or wax paints or anything like that. I didn't know about it until I watched something like, it was like Antiques Roadshow, but it wasn't. It was like some restoration program where it was like, oh, we've done this old thing and we want to make it. They had to replace all the hardware on it, and they could only find period style, but not the right color. And then they used Rub and Buff on it, and I was like, that's amazing. I need to use that more. And then I did.
I was gonna say,
so I found a video from Replicate that sort of shows. Well, it shows them finishing it. It doesn't show them prepping it. So there's a whole other process that needs to be done to allow it to get to this part. But this is the heat activated, and this is chrome plating. So we'll wait for Matt to come back.
Hold on, give me a sec.
What's up?
Uno momento,
por favor. That's the original model. That's it painted, and then he applies the heat. And
what the hell?
So that is, and I mean, and when I say, I mean, and it's chrome. It's not.
This is like an ASMR video.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then once he's heat activated it stays like that. That's how it stays. It's not. He
doesn't have to seal that up, I bet. Yeah.
I think
not that you would want to. I mean, right? That's crazy.
But this is with resin or filament or.
So that particular one is a 3D printed car or car shell that he's then coated in Replaflow, sanded. Then he's coated it in whatever their chrome coat is.
Whatever black magic that is.
Yeah,
what on earth?
Whatever voodoo he used.
I have never seen that.
That's one of the things he does. And the reason why he had to make the video is because when they initially released the product, everybody who saw it went, "That's horse crap. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you've produced that. It's literally not technically possible what you're talking about. You're talking about nonsense." And he went, "Well, I mean, I'll send you a video of it working if you like." And he did. And then everyone went, "Well, whatever." They were all still miserable anyway. But yeah, they at least believed him at the end.
Here. I'm going to send you this link.
Yeah.
I think this might be expensive to get it here to Costa Rica.
I think everything is expensive to get there.
Yeah, I was going to say, of course it will be, but the good thing about it is so they're so small, right? They're just the refills. Yeah. If you have an airbrush, if someone has an airbrush, right, that you can use instead of having to use up the spray cans, the rattle cans, like I said, a little bit goes a long way with those. You just like a drop or two, right, will last a couple of minutes of coverage. But it's really all in the primer job that you do before you put that liquid chrome on there. But there's a lot of good YouTube videos out there of artists that, instead of wasting tons of money on 20 rattle cans, they'll use a couple of drops from this instead and get better results. So it is expensive. So it depends on how much you need to chrome. You can just buy the actual pen. I think the pen's maybe half the cost. The refill is quite a bit more, but you get a lot more product in it.
I've got 2 of the pens, so I've got like a really big tip for like trying to do big areas, and then I've got the little pen as well. So the little pen I use both of them on that. So I use the big pen on the sword. So the sword is actually pretty reflective. It's not chrome, but it's pretty reflective. And then I use the little pen to try and get the runes. And it gives the runes this shine that you just can't get out of a regular paint job. Like it's so cool.
It's hard to catch it on camera too. I try to show people whenever I have like little bits that I'm like, no, wait, look at how pretty this is. Look at how chrome this is. They're just like, I don't see it. I don't get it. Yeah. But in person, it really has like a totally different shine. There's no silver rattle can that can give you that kind of a shine. So if you truly want to invest in something that you want with that like quote unquote chrome look, I always have to do like chrome look because it's not technically chromed. That's about as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So that's what I love Hot Wheels. You can polish that until you have a bright, nice, shiny glass finish.
I was saying underneath, it doesn't matter like what brand or what quality underneath. It's just as long as it's smooth. So the other thing I learned too was how to cover my stuff while it was drying.
Yeah.
I always just left it out there and you have to pick out all the little dust specks and go back and rebuff it. It will pick up every last sin that piece has ever seen, but totally worth it.
Hey,
speaking of swords, what the heck was that, Matt? Did you just like
me?
Were you suspending something over there in the washing care station?
Yeah, I was. So I have
a yardstick or a sword.
I have like a ruler, and so it vortexes, right? So sometimes when I want to try and get a better clean on the print, I'll bring it all the way to the top because that's when the vortex is like the heaviest, and that way it'll clean it as best as possible. So I usually like suspend it for a couple seconds and then drop it back down. So that's all.
So this is
I was like,
This is the chrome that I used on the armor.
Matt, yeah. It's okay. I'm paying attention. I swear.
So this is where I use the chrome pen, and it's a silver that you just can't. This is with a thin chrome pen, but it's a silver that you can't really match because it doesn't look silver. And the same here. Like it gives a shiny rune effect that you just can't. Apart from anything else, it's way easier to draw than it is to paint. So like having to put this stuff on is way easier. But I mean, yeah. And then I did his sword, which you can't really see. But his sword is again, it's that shiny silver. It doesn't come out as well on camera as I thought it was going to, but it's so
hard. It's like catching neons on camera. You're like, it's so neon and fluorescent in real life, and then you take a picture of it. You're like, okay,
and you're like, look, man. I mean, I
swear, yeah.
So anyway, so the chrome pens are really good, but yeah, getting those in Costa Rica, it might be cheaper for you to get a flight over here, order it from Amazon to the hotel, and fly back. It's like
probably at the prices he pays. Good Lord.
But believe it or not, I know a lot of people that actually do that, right? So they start taking orders to get laptops, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5. So as soon as they have all the orders, they just send the order to the hotel. You pay $199 for a flight to Miami, and then you just fly back to Costa Rica. So it's a one-day trip.
Wow.
And it's cheaper than actually paying the taxes for that.
That's insane.
What's up, Sam? Hello from Sweden. We got everybody around the world tonight, huh?
Actually, I have a nifty product. Let me go find it.
Hey, question. Do you guys, all of you, do the 3D printing for living, or is more like a hobby or entrepreneurship?
No. This costs me an abhorrent amount of money. It's so much so that I have, when people ask me how much things cost, I lie a lot. So I lie all the time. They're like, how much did that cost to make? I'm like, it cost about $5. And they're like, really? I'm like, no, not at all. This cost me way more than it would have done to have just gone and bought the thing, actually, just to have gone and bought an Iron Man helmet. Like I spent like I spent like £150 making a Mandalorian helmet, and it's not even that good. Like, it's fine. It's just it's like, and at the end of it, people were like, "Oh yeah, how much is that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was like if you add up the materials, it's like £10." And then it was like and I was like, "Yeah, that's super not true." Like, like it's super really expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I just stopped telling people.
Yeah.
How much is that? Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
More than you can afford, pal.
Right. All right. So this
It's
is
expensive, just not Costa Rica expensive.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, is that the chrome nail polish stuff?
Yeah. So
Yes.
so true story. I always like to forewarn. Oh God, don't make me that much. Please spare your viewership.
Close up, Mr. DeVoe.
All right. So when you
Yeah.
hang on, let me turn on my spotlight here. So I found this out the hard way. If you have contact allergy to resin, right, and resin printing, you will also have bad skin reactions to gel polish. So this is that when it sits there, exactly like the Molotow, it will, as it sits and it settles, it actually turns chrome. Like if you look around the edges, see if it'll focus. It'll actually start.
But it's all about surface prep. If your surface isn't right.
Yeah. I would say exactly like around the edges of the glass, it starts to go into like a mirror shape and it just starts to settle in. It's essentially the same thing as that the pen refill, the Molotow.
Yeah. So I use nail polish
for a lot cheaper though. It doesn't go as far.
I use nail polish on this.
It's the same, a lot of the same ingredients.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I tried to do iridescent on the wings. And it did not work. So, so it was super expensive buying and finding iridescent nail polish. But the idea was to try and get that sort of like oil. Do you know when you get like cling film in a certain light, and it's like got that sort of like that really like there's like loads of colors in it, and it's like really like the colors. I was trying to get that, and I found an iridescent nail polish, and I was like, that'll do the job. And then I used like I used like a whole thing on one of the wings, and I was like, oh shit. Then I had to do the other ones.
That's the only bad thing about it. The nail polish is that it's super pigmented. I mean, a lot of the good ones are these days. They're really, really pigmented, but they don't spread out very thin because that like nail polish usually they don't want it to be super thin.
Yeah. So I wanted that effect, but yeah, it didn't really come out.
I can still see. I can see a clear color shift.
There is a color
greens.
shift.
I can see purples.
It's not the color shift that I wanted. So I wanted like
you wanted it more like an oil slick, like to cover the whole. Like you wanted it holographic to color all the colors, not just like a 2-color shift.
Yeah. And he was also he's supposed to be. He's a tooth fairy from Hellboy. So the model is actually supposed to be larger than this. It's one of the rare occasions where I scaled stuff down. And he's supposed to be like an undead flesh tone, but he's purple, and I don't know why. So it's another example of why I hate painting, because it never.
But the joy of painting, you can always go back and do it again or go back over it. Like
that implies
always
that
a way to fix things.
The first time, I didn't want to do it the first time I painted. I had to do it a second time. That's twice as many times that I didn't want to do it. I already didn't want to do this. So having to repaint it is something that my brain just goes, absolutely not. You just need to learn to live with your failure. And it just stares. I don't want.
It's a lesson learned. See, I say. So you start talking about nail polish, you'll never get me to shut up. This is one of my like many boxes of nail polishes that I can no longer use because I've gained myself a contact allergy.
Awesome.
Which is why I hang out with Matt all the time, because I just got to live vicariously through you to do all the resin printing because I can't do it anymore. No, I can't.
Hey James, and why you didn't use like vinyl decals on that wings?
So there's a few reasons. One, I don't have a vinyl cutter. 2, I didn't think of it, and and 3, they're really like awkward shapes. I would have had to have. So the STL files aren't flat. They're like curved. I had to use a heat gun just to get them to go the way that they are like that.
Okay.
So if I'd have put that into a to try and transfer it into a vinyl, I'd have had to have found a way to flatten out the STL, which I don't know how to do. And then I would have had to have found a vinyl cutter, which I don't have. And then I would have had to have attached them, and I don't know how to do that either. So
But you can use kind of the water process. I don't remember the name.
Like the transfers. Yeah. Yeah, I probably could have done actually, but I didn't. I didn't.
Believe me, we cannot afford the nice
nail polish.
Yeah. I mean, we can afford the nail polish, but not the nice one.
Right.
At least not kind of a couple of of units to paint one wing. So
a while ago I did a Captain America, and the Captain America was holding an American flag, and I was like, I am going to do a decal. Never done decals before, so I'm going to start out with a custom decal because I hate myself. And then I realized halfway through trying to attach the decal, which was incredibly difficult, that the modeler hates people and wants them to tear their own faces off, because the way he'd made the flag drape meant that it wasn't actually a rectangle. So it wasn't a straight rectangle. The flag was down at an angle, but to make the flag look the way that he wanted, he hadn't kept rectangle that was draping. He'd made it like asymmetrical, and he'd like slanted it like a rhombus, and then there was a wave in it as well. And eventually I just ripped the flag off, and I just bought a flag off of Amazon, and I just stuck that in his hand. I just went, this is not for me, and I broke it off. And then there was a terrible period in my life in which I attempted to paint an American flag, and that was difficult. So the British flag is really easy. We kept it all triangles and straight lines. And America went, yeah, we're going to throw some stars in there. And not like easy stars that you can do, not like
straight lines
stars, like the proper complicated stars that like nobody can ever draw, and they look like really bent starfish. Like it's like I don't know why, but that was a giant finger to the rest of the world of like, no children can draw our flag, hooray! It was really complicated. I hated it. It really, really bothered me. So then I broke the flag off, and I went and just literally bought like the kind you like wave at a parade, and I just stuck that in his hand, and I was like, there we go, that's that problem solved.
It works.
That's why Costa Rican flag, it's quite easy.
There you go. Just see 4 brush strokes right there.
Blue, white, red, white, blue. That's it.
Yeah. Because you respect your flag makers, and you know they've got other things that they might need to do. They've got other things on their hands, and they can't spend all of their time just making loads of really intricate flags.
Actually, it's because the person that was assigned to design the Costa Rican flag during the independence said, hey, you know what? I really love France flag, but we cannot do it the same way. So just put it all the other way and duplicate the flag. Whoa, that's cool. Actually, the red line is the double the size of the other lines, because they literally just joined two French flags.
Sewed it together.
Yeah, just a flyby. Yeah, this was I'm almost done with this one. Still need some paintwork. Oh,
that's awesome.
Google Home one.
Wow, that's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I got a black one also, so I'm trying to do a black one in there, and I still need some paintwork. So I was starting
Look
to
at you.
That
looks great.
Stuff in the back. My first paint job, so everything with a brush, by the way.
Nice.
Still working on it. So I still need some
TIE fighter.
Yeah. I need to paint the sides of the ammo stuff. I need some shoulder pads I still need to print, and then I'm done. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at that shine. So good.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Believe it or not, there is no post processing. It's just out of the printer, and I use
Glass bed.
here the glass side, and on this part, it's easier and cheaper for us to buy a barbecue spray, like grilling to paint a grill. So
Yeah.
it's a nice black
Right.
uh,
Yeah, thick black.
matte
Yeah, yeah.
finish. So this is a TIE Fighter Alexa, actually Echo Dot 4 base.
I've seen one. That's awesome.
I have the other parts here. So I'm building it.
And the Echo goes in the middle.
Yeah, Echo goes in the middle.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, James.
Looks
And
so
they're
good.
I do
three.
not want to. I'm going
And
to tell
they're
you now.
three.
I do not want to give my my Alexa any more power than she already has over my life. I feel like giving her a spaceship is really one step too far, and that's how we eventually get taken over by the machines. That's how it's going to happen. It's going to be people attaching a AI to a mini TIE fighter, and then that will chase us in the
Oh.
apocalypse. And it's just not for me. It's,
Yeah.
You're on mute, Matt.
Oh wow.
Matt, you're on mute.
Yeah.
He's probably talking to TikTok.
And I was lucky because I had.
Says the man that has a giant Terminator.
Oh, he's only got one leg. He can't do anything.
I was lucky.
Terminator. He's still crawling after her.
You know, I don't come to your house and ask you loads of questions, Matt. The Terminator isn't finished because the storm came and it ruined him.
Maybe it's trying to tell you something. It's warning you of the future.
Don't give Alexa the TIE Fighter.
Like I've had a 4 a.m. call for work, and I've been walking down my garden, and then there's a Terminator that's standing outside my office at the moment, and there's been more than one occasion where I've just gone, and then I realised what it is.
I would just love to see people's reaction on that call, like when you walk past it and they're just like, did you just walk past the Terminator?
There's a reason why I don't put things on mannequins. I don't do dress forms. When people do like their cosplays on dress forms, there's a legitimate reason why. I still like hit my light and run to my bed and jump in my bed at night. I still won't even stand by my bed at night because I get spooked way too easy, yo. There's no way I'm leaving my predator build up in the middle of the night. No.
I as a joke. So I am odd when it comes to arguments with my wife. So the fact that she hasn't left me is really just laziness on her part more than anything else. So I bought her for her birthday a life-size cardboard cutout of me, and then I would constantly hide it in her shower. So she'd go in and turn the shower on. I should turn the light on to go in the shower, and there'd just be me like this. Like, Jesus Christ! shit. Then,
Oh my
God.
God.
I went away for a weekend and she burned it on the bar.
Okay, guys, I'm off again. Bye.
No worries.
All right, Vincent.
See you, Vincent.
Hi, Vincent.
Great friend.
Hello, Danny.
Oh my God, that is so
Penny's
funny.
gone.
And we didn't even do anything for my partner's birthday last year, but like that's brilliant. He would never see that coming. Just get a cardboard cutout of yourself.
A full size one. It has to be life size as well, otherwise it's not as funny. And there was another year where I was going away. I was going away for work, and I put googly eyes on everything in the fridge. And when you opened it, it looked like everything in the fridge was judging you. And it was like, it was like, and she just sent me a picture. Just why? And I was like, oh, I just.
Oh my God, where do you get these ideas from?
It's just genuine boredom. I went around the house and I changed out all of our family pictures for pictures of Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That-
I feel like I
Hey,
saw a meme.
Hey, James,
What
you
was
are
it?
Honey Badger 3D on TikTok, right?
Yes, yeah.
So you are just 5 people away from your 1,000 followers. Congrats.
Nice.
Oh no, we got another person.
Now
that can
you're
go
all
live?
gonna make
The end of the world.
following. I just saw a meme. It was something like, I forgot it. Someone like living at home with their mother, but they're like, we've been slowly changing all of our childhood photos to faces of Nicolas Cage or something. And they're like, she hasn't noticed, and it's been 2 weeks, and so they've been like slowly just adding on to the collection. That had me in stitches. Okay, let me make sure that.
Yeah, so stuff like that. I quite enjoy doing things like that. And she's pretty over it. Like it's sort of one of those things where she used to tell people, she's like, "Oh yeah, he is really funny. He does really silly things every now and again." And then after I put googly eyes on all of her bras, she was like, "Yeah, this isn't funny anymore. Like,
This is taking it too far.
Stopped being hilarious now, and it's actually just admin that you're creating for me, and it's just like it's really annoying." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair."
So true story. My birthday is on the 1st. And yes, it's the most garbage birthday right next to being born on Christmas, I imagine. I don't know. But I always imagine that especially when you're a kid, is the worst. But I've never really done the birthday thing. It sucks. I hate it for obvious reasons. But like things like that legitimately makes life worth living another year. Just to play those pranks on another person. So if you have good things, you have more ideas like that.
Most of my ideas tend to center around. So I have a nephew, and he's a bad person. So he's only he's 8, but he's an arse. Like he's an 8-year-old arsehole, and all that will happen as he gets older is he'll be an older arsehole than he is now. So I like messing with him constantly. So I once took all of the toys out of his bedroom and replaced them with cabbages. I convinced him that guacamole was pronounced guacamole, and it wasn't until he went to another kid's house and he asked for it, and the kid was like, "What the hell's guacamole?" And he was like, "It's when you smash an avocado." And he was like, "Do you mean guacamole?" And I immediately got a text from him. And he was like, "Why would you do this? Like, you wouldn't even have been there to have seen how funny it was." And I was like, "Oh, it's still funny though." Like, so I so most of my stuff is stuff like that.
Okay.
Various
so
ways.
A 5-foot cutout. It only goes by full feet. So a 5-foot cutout is $80. Totally worth it.
100% worth it. You'll never get your partner a better gift than having to turning the shower on and just seeing a cardboard cutout of you.
You would never see it coming.
Yeah.
Hey James, do you want to know something funny?
What?
Do you know what's the cost for an avocado here in Costa Rica?
Oh God. I think that you pay $8 an avocado.
Nope.
It can't be worse than that. You grow them closer than we do.
I was just say, back.
Actually, we just need to walk next to a tree and get it from the floor.
Oh, right. I was going to say, Jesus, if you've got to import avocados as well, Christ, what's even the point of living there? Like
on my previous house, we had an avocado tree, and so every season we get like over 400 to 500 avocados.
Whoa.
That's a lot of guacamole.
So believe me, we eat a lot of guacamole. That's the Spanish name.
All right, man.
Stop saying that, because now I'm going to say it every time I see that.
It's the only way you should, especially in front of children, because they're stupid and they'll just say it to people.
That's like saying quesadillas.
Yeah.
Quesadillas?
Yeah.
I think that takes like a bite out of our soul every time they say it like that. By the way, James, there's a link that I left in private chat for you. I know you said that you're done with the print, but I'm just throwing it out there because someone brought up nail polish.
That's actually really similar.
He's an anarchist.
Okay, so I was to say, so what you're looking for is going to be a linear holographic top coat.
Right. Okay.
So for it to go over the whole array is for it to be holographic if it reflects all the colors. And then the linear is just that pattern that you were talking about. If you do like the scattered, it's essentially glitter. And I don't think that's what you're looking for. You're looking for like a sheen.
Yeah.
So a linear holographic top coat you could mix that with some kind of a thinner to make it,
Go a little bit further. Another one, like if I was doing a Tinkerbell or something, absolutely.
There you go.
But yeah,
the thing is, everyone calls stuff holographic these days. They don't like to differentiate between things that are chromatic or that just simply have a single or double shift in it versus like something that's truly holographic. And I get really irritated when people call something iridescent or chromatic, and it's like, it's not what it is.
I wanted that
because millennials didn't live during the real holographic time, where you can start seeing the different colors and you say, "Oh my God, what the heck is that?" Now they just live with a VR time, and they can just easily go and Google something.
I
You
don't
didn't need
think.
to spend a couple of weeks on the library to actually get that.
Yeah,
I'll say, yeah.
I have seen.
Your teacher said,
anyone under the age of 15. I don't
Look it
think
up.
I've seen anyone under the age of 15 surprised in the last I don't think it even happens anymore. I don't think you can surprise a 15-year-old. I think if you came to him and be like, "Hey, look, we had a mouse and we took a little bit of him and we grew another exactly the same mouse," they go, "Oh yeah, cool, that seems all right." They wouldn't go, "How did you do that? Like, how did that happen?" They're just like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. I'm going to go and make a TikTok video about it." Like, it's just it's not. There's no way to surprise them anymore. And then when you go to so I remember very vividly when I went to kids' parties that they were all full of cake and sugar and numbers, and you would all run around like crazy people for 18 hours straight, and then you'd sort of crash in the car on the way home. And if you go to a child's party now, they're all just strewn on the floor like dead bumblebees, just all looking at their phone, texting each other, I might add, in some sort of horrific language that I can't understand, but I suspect is about me. And it's
I was going to say, that's what he's mad about, actually. That's why he's complaining.
Language. All of them keep saying yeet all the time, and I don't know what yeet means. And it's just, yeah, I don't like it.
Do you want to keep a young person entertained? Just give them a VHS and a rewind card and tell them, "Hey, you need to rewind that." They will spend a couple of hours trying to know how to get the card to open that and how to put the VHS cassette inside of that.
Yeah.
The best is the rotary phone. Seeing them try to do that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
What you working on, man?
We're not that old, you guys. We're not that old.
Oh, nice.
This one's cool because he's hollow, and I hollowed out the eyes, so I'm gonna put a red LED inside there.
Oh,
so
cute.
He has
nice.
all red.
I
just realized I got more eagle moss.
Matt, have you seen any of those? Have you seen the wireless LEDs that you can get now?
Yes, I have. Yeah, is that Peeps?
Yep.
They are Peeps. Okay, I was going to say, they look like Peeps.
Yes, I have seen that.
And those probably, honestly, taste better than the actual Peeps.
Yeah.
So, sorry, what's a peep? I don't know what's a peep.
A peep is a marshmallow chick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like marshmallow fluff, and they extrude it to kind of make it look like a little chick.
Okay, thank you.
It's disgusting.
They're awful.
Exactly as weird as it sounds, just to be clear.
It's pretend marshmallow.
Thanks, America, for that lovely thing.
I finally got my printer up and running, so
nice.
I'm printing that flexi crocodile from my mini factory.
Sweet. Yeah, I see there's a couple new flexible prints out there.
Yeah, flexible's all the jam at the moment, isn't it?
I showed my kids a cassette tape last week, and they looked at me as if if I was stupid. That's what Carl said. See, unfortunately, me and my wife teach my kid about the older stuff, so we gave him. He actually has a Walkman that he uses. So
that's cute.
So basically, so probably, Matt, you will love the equipment that I have on my back.
Oh my God, they're old.
Nice.
Yeah.
I grew up with my parents' record player. Had that all throughout high school.
Ooh.
Now I regret getting rid of it Because now they're cool again. Now it's a thing again.
That I had them when I 12.
Yep.
It's they don't know the pain these days of trying to record your favorite song from the radio, having to press the at exactly the moment before the DJ comes on at the end and talks over the last few words, and you're like,
and that's the thing, like they won't understand that because now if they hear a song, they just go on their phone and grab it right then and there. Like you don't even have to record it from the car. There's no need to.
I think I would say 60% of my childhood was humming a song that I'd heard to everybody that I knew and seeing if any of them could figure out what the song was because I didn't know the name. That was a very large part of my childhood, and a very irrational fear of quicksand. But
oh my god, I love the cassettes with the lyrics of the songs in the front,
in the fold out, yeah. You get the
yeah.
paper in the front.
That was
with the
awesome.
lyrics. There's such little quicksand in adulthood.
Yeah,
Danny,
because actually we can go ahead and get a dictionary and try to understand what the person was singing. I am pretty sure it was not a un chinito pescando. I am really sure it wasn't that.
Is that a Ghostbusters logo?
No, on Denny's on his over his right shoulder, he's got a Ghostbusters logo on his wall.
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
So yes, Minnesota Cowboy.
Wow.
I think
Yeah, now I have the never-ending story just flashing in front of me.
Do you have see the Pop Mini, the new 3D scanner?
That's right. I forgot Matt and I are the same.
I literally printed that last week.
He gets all my references.
What was that, Ray? Which scanner?
The what?
What you say, James?
I thought you said. Have we seen the scanner?
Yeah. Have you seen the new Pop Mini from River Point?
The mini scanner by Rebel Point.
Yeah. I see it yesterday popping up the River Mini pop-up scanner Mini.
Yep.
With LED inside.
There's only one thing I can think of that I would be able to ever use a 3D scan for. One is scanning my head and then putting that head on various superhero bodies. Which I feel is like using a Tinder profile from like 18 years ago where I look thin. So I feel it's a touch disingenuous. And the other is that if I did like a full body scan, I guess I would be able to put it into Blender and then I could scale armor. So I was pretty sure it would fit my incredibly weirdly shaped body. I feel like they're the only two things that I would ever use a scanner for, because all the cool models that I see at like the Smithsonian or something like that, or at like the British Museum, they've already taken 3D scans of and they're available online. So I don't need to do that. And if I'm going into a shop and I'm scanning things that people are selling, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that as a shopkeeper, I'd probably have an issue with that. It'd be like it's the equivalent of me very slowly stealing the thing they're selling. So it's like and I'd have to then move it around and get all the different angles and everything else. And then there's a good chance I'd have to go back because I'd be missing some data. And I just think the shop owner
it seems a little bit weird when Focus have Creality have the claim of the lizard problem.
Yeah.
And it pop up in 24 hours a new Reefer Point. Next month of 2 months ago was the Pop 2 new.
So and Matt and I have been on this crusade for a while as well. I do not believe that a company like Creality should be allowed to use Kickstarter. All they are saying is, I believe in my product so little that I'm not going to put
pay
up the
for
capital.
it up front.
But the good news is you can put up the capital. But unlike if you buy something from us, if this turns out to be crap, you have absolutely no legal recourse because you aren't buying a product. You are buying a slot in their production line. So if the product that you get is nothing like it appears, like Solar Roadways or something like that, where it just physically doesn't work, then you can't return that. You can't return the scanner and say, oh yeah, this doesn't work the way I thought it was, because they go, that's cool, because you didn't pay for the scanner. You backed us, and then we gave you the scanner as a reward.
Right.
Yeah, I hope really for the guys that get the backpacker also get the scanner. I hope. I think also. Why not?
I mean, as I say, I've like Creality asked us if we wanted one, and I just said no, because I won't back a Kickstarter unless it is a person who is trying to start a company, in which case 100%.
That is for Kickstarter. I think when you go for the first time to make some product, that is Kickstarter used for.
Yes.
That is my opinion. Not for a company that's all 5th year or 7th year exists.
Yep. That's got huge product lines and everything else. All they are doing is saying, we refuse to take a risk on this product, so you need to.
It's a really tacky habit, and we need, like, as a community, just all need to agree to not go that route unless, like you said, that's what it was made for, right? It was for the artists, was for the college student who had a great idea, was for someone who wasn't well established already in the commercial, arena. And I would say I went on this rant on my channel like a few weeks ago. I think it's so odd that everyone in this community is so very okay with just putting their money into the pockets of these companies that already have their footing for these products. I'm like, why do 3D printers do this? This is like very specific to 3D printers. And I'm not sure why, but it's mind-boggling, because anywhere else you would say, if I have a product that I believe in, I'm willing to say, let me go to a bank because I have this idea that will do very well, capitalism. But you're going to take advantage of a community that loves their craft. You're going to take advantage of artists. That's garbage. I really hate it. It's total garbage. It's bad. It's a really ugly habit.
Dus we all agree the rules on Kickstarter must be changed. The big
Kickstarter apparently doesn't do much either to protect those who buy into things either, from my understanding, which is really sad, because
so don't get me wrong, if you're a medium-sized company and building a new production line and everything else is a problem, that's fine. Do pre-orders. And then if people want to pre-order a product, I don't have a material issue with that, because at least at the end of it, I have some level of consumer protection, and I can look at pre-ordered with the Frozen.
Frozen, perfect. Or you could just do AnyCubic. AnyCubic says, all right, this is our lead time. There you go.
Yeah. And I get that. That's them pre-selling a production run. They know how much they've sold before in some cases they even start proper mass manufacturing them. They've got their engineering samples locked down, whatever. Fine. I can live with pre-orders. But the idea of a Kickstarter in that instance, like it just leaves such a bad taste on the tongue. LuckyBot are a prime example of this. I have a 25-minute video of me having a general meltdown about the Weebooks LuckyBot. It is a chocolate extruder that goes onto an Ender 3, and it is objectively garbage. It doesn't work for a start. All I managed to do of 14 hours worth of my life that I'm not able to now spend with my family or friends, I managed to take a cube of very, very nice chocolate, melt it, and make a slightly worse cube than what I started with. That was the success of that exercise of 14 hours worth of my life.
Did you eat the chocolate?
I did.
Do you think it can be arranged?
He was mad about it.
I want to bite you, but I don't want to.
Oh, it glows.
That's nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I think the company comes with an arrangement with the other company, I think.
What, you think Weebooks did, or what you think Creality
with
did?
Creality.
That they came to an agreement with the copyright that they clearly ripped off.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Why not?
Interesting. Why not? Well, because the person who owns the copyright has no legal obligation to give Creality some money. That's why.
Yeah, but they are still also the program to design.
So, okay,
Carl
so if someone
says,
robs
James,
your
you're-
house and you found them, you'd be happy going up to them and say, I'll tell you what, you give me half back the stuff that you stole, and then we'll just call it quits. You'd be all right with that, would you? You wouldn't go, I want all the things back that you stole. You'd be like, okay, you stole it, fair play, let's go 50-50. And like, if they stole the design, they stole the design.
I think also the company that it's sued to Creality have also wait when it's come out of Kickstarter. He wait for that to look how good going on to Kickstarter. How many backpackers going for that buying process?
Right.
But it's the day after it's to the card. One day after of that. That's also a problem of the maker of the scanner, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Like, you know, Creality haven't been designing a large number of their products for the last
normal
for the last 5-6 years. So it doesn't surprise me that they end up coming loose and they end up getting to a point where somebody went, yeah, actually, this is ours. So, but again, with Kickstarter, anyone who's backed that, if it doesn't get reinstated, you just lose your money. There's nothing, because they reached their funding goal, that the money's already been released. So the chances of people getting their money, or certainly all of their money back, is pretty much entirely down to whether Creality decides that they want to. And I think we can all agree they're not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen an email of Kickstarter that tell that the people are, when it's not be sent it, why the backpack is finished, it's completed, then is the chance to get the money back. What I see in the email of Kickstarter.
I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because if you have a copyright infringement, it doesn't really state what copyrighted on it. If it's the scanner, it looks like more or less the software, which, if that's the case, then yes, they will still send you the scanner. But the problem is you'll be limited because you won't be able to use their software for it. So it's kind of like, here's a scanner.
Yeah, that's also...
yeah. And they would still be fulfilling their pledge to give you that item.
Yeah, you just wouldn't be able to use it afterwards.
Yeah. So
they never guarantee how long you can use it for. You just get a scanner that would be useless.
Yeah, that's literally it. It would be like giving you a car.
So Matt's just saying, according to Kickstarter and Creality, we will be getting
with the court person, he shall that. I think, yeah. But Riverpoint have also the same software from that company.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are making arrangements with each other for that.
They could.
Dus I think also Creality goes to that.
Yeah, so Matt German saying that according to...
At the end, Creality can just go ahead and tell anyone in the company, hey guys, just go ahead, open a profile, upload this, we will found it, and if it's a success, then we will brand it as Creality. Otherwise, we will just leave the process of the project behind, and that's it. So yep. I do prefer to see like the brand in there saying, yeah, we are supposed to, we will be doing that. Because I mean, they can just go with the old book of moves, right, and do it whatever way they want. And the main issue is that we, as a community of the 3D print people around the world, we can say, yeah, we're not going to support that, but the issue is not us. Basically, through TikTok, through media, through social media, to basically any way to advertise, they have like the $99 at Micro Center enders, right? So that they can just go ahead and get new people, and the new people will be highly interested and get cheap stuff from Creality, right? So just because it's Creality branded, right? So yeah. I think what they need to say is like, okay, you know what, we're going to fund the 75% of that, but well, we want to know what's the current commitment, because they need to measure the actual commitment from the people that it's out there, on how many people want to invest their money on getting a new product, right? Otherwise, they are not going to invest anything.
Yeah, I think also.
There's
Well,
Carl.
I feel bad telling a lot of people in the community, because there's a lot of really good-hearted people in the community, as with a lot of maker communities, right? A lot of artistic people, is that they care a lot about their craft, and there's a lot of people. Excuse me, that I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to do two things at once here. Is that they don't want to tell people no, right? So there's people that are really excited to see things move forward. They're really excited to see new ideas. They get promised something great, the next biggest printer, and they're going to get excited. They want to purchase that. They want to put their money there. So it feels bad, because you don't want to tell people, no, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, don't invest in any of those Kickstarters. They're just trying to rip you off. Because then on the other hand, you're kind of poo-pooing all over people that would really like to see things progress.
Right.
That would really like to see new products move forward. But like, I'm on your side. Don't worry. Like, I'm 100% on the side of, like, we all need to just like speak up and say, this is enough. You're really taking advantage of the 3D print community, and I don't think it's right. That's just my personal opinion. But also, it's kind of hard to tell people, like, hey guys, stop wanting cool stuff.
But I mean, Creality is one of the companies that can actually takes a different approach on that, and actually go into this kind of platforms like GoFundMe, etc., right? And said, hey, you know what? You are a maker. You had a really good idea. I think that this idea might be a hit around the community, so we are going to found the 99% of your project, or we are going to found.
So I would never want that. I would never want that, because that's pretty much exactly what happened to Naomi Wu, and then they effectively cut her completely out of any of what is a product that she basically engineered and went through and did all the work for. So Naomi Wu, Sexy Cyborg, is which still feels weird to say. So I'm just gonna call her Naomi like a regular person, but so she designed the CR30. Naomi is an incredibly talented engineer. She does absolutely amazing work. And Creality said, "Oh, we'll make the print mill," and it was even brought out as Naomi Wu edition, and it even had her on the box.
Yep.
And then after about 6 months of sales, they just went, "Oh yeah, so that's all we're going to include you with now. Now it's our design, and now we're going to carry on selling it without you."
Yep.
They just made the choice that they don't want her involved in it anymore. She is somewhat of a polarizing figure in some circles, depending on how you look at it. And they just went, yeah, we're just going to sell it ourselves now and give you nothing. And that's the problem when you're dealing with Denny. I feel like your soul is gradually being stolen every time you flash.
Well, I mean, when you're constantly talking,
your background doesn't change, but you go like Slender Man. It's really, it's really, really unsettling.
I mean, you're just so captivating when you talk.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I just I hate that idea. But there was so when we're talking about innovation, there is a Kickstarter. I think it's called Prometheus. Matt, we spoke about this before, and it's an open source MSLA printer where you can either buy the kit from them, or you can get the open source parts and basically go and build it yourself. And they give you like you can go different sizes and everything else, but it's like 3 engineers who designed the kit. And then after that, it was some people got the kits from the Kickstarter. Some people they've released it sort of open source. It's like a Mango OS or something it uses, which is like
that's Lychee. That's it, essentially. So.
Yeah, and they made that, and that's great. And they're the sort of projects that we should be promoting and calling out and trying to promote.
That Kickstarter went right in the toilet because they're not a known name. Nobody really knows about them. They did pretty good promoting from what I can see, It's just the fact that nobody wanted. First off, it was a price thing. Secondly, they were competing in a very like bully market where Elegoo was pretty much just launched to Jupiter, so it was like timing was terrible on that. And the fact that it's because it's not a no name, nobody wanted to back it because you have Elegoo that's right there, similar machine, maybe a little bit smaller, and it's a name. But again, it's the whole Kickstarter thing. Like, there's no need for them to be doing that. You're literally killing projects like the Prometheus by doing something like that.
Yeah.
I just would think that Kickstarter would have more
morale,
interest in. Nay, sir. That's not what I said. Okay.
I see.
Have more of an interest in preventing other people from taking advantage of the platform so that they can continue making their money on their own platform, right?
They are
crazy thought I had.
Yeah, I was going to say the problem is that so Kickstarter is one of those. It's one of those in between people who don't really care about the beginning and don't really care about the end. They're just garnishing what they make, and that's kind of all they're really interested in. It certainly feels that way. It's a bit like there's
Etsy.
It's just the way they always try and describe, or the way that it's always been described to me is if you've got some gold and you want to sell it, right? You go to a broker. And you, as a seller, are gambling that you're selling your gold at the best price possible. And as the buyer, you are gambling that you're buying the gold and that the gold price is going to go up. So both of you are taking a gamble. But the broker in the middle doesn't care. He doesn't care whether or not the gold goes up, the gold goes down, whether you sold at the right price, bought at the right price. He doesn't care if that's your last $5 or whether that's, whether you're a millionaire. He's not bothered because he's made his fee in the middle. And I feel like Kickstarter's got that mentality, which is that they don't take any risk on Kickstarter campaigns. There's no risk to them. If a project's backed by $1 million and then it doesn't make any money, it doesn't make any difference because Kickstarter's taken its 150 grand out of the pot, and then it's everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
I see in the comments, it's for you, James. I have just a Facebook message, James. I emailed from Plurality Kickstart about the lizard.
Yeah, and I've seen them. So basically, they're saying that it's a different company. So it's not RevoPoint. It's a different company that.
Yeah, I know it's not RiverPoint. My RiverPoint have the program of that company range for her own.
Yeah, we already touched on this. Who's suing Creality? We know it's a company based in New York.
Yeah.
So why you bring that up?
That is also the company that makes RiverPoint software.
Yeah,
so you guys know that company is in New York.
It's a New York company, yeah. It's saying it's not concluded yet, so it could all be fine in the end. So, Louise, I don't disagree. It could all be fine in the end. It also might not be. And the problem is the risk around it isn't yours. It shouldn't be yours to take. If Creality has stolen an idea, put it on Kickstarter, and then someone's gone, just to be clear, this is ours, and then you don't receive your item, and they go, well, that's the nature of Kickstarter. You go, no, that's you stealing something and then putting it up online for sale, being called out, and then not giving people their money back. That's very different.
It's the same with that robot dog from Maria Wu, the robot dog. It's the same. I wait now a year for the robot dog, and last 3 weeks I saw it's not come out.
Yep.
You can give COVID vaccine splits.
I would assume, though, if someone did have that idea substantiated already, then that they would have evidence of that, right? Like, I would assume that they could take legal action against a company like that. But assuming they're on Kickstarter, they probably don't have the money to take someone like that to court, right?
Yeah.
Right, very possibly. Although if they live in New York, they could just give up 1 month's rent, and I'm sure they can afford a very
still crash on your mom's couch for a month. You can afford your lawyers.
Yeah, but as I say,
Are we talking on not able to afford? That's me.
Oh God.
Yeah, you guys
imagine having to
man,
import a
go
lawyer to
to
Costa
New
Rica.
York.
Well, if I could just not pay, rent for a month, I could send you guys a whole bunch of resin to last you
Yeah.
the rest of the year. I would do that for you guys. I'd do that
Yep.
because that's bullshit that you have to
Be
pay that
homeless
much for resin.
afterwards, but yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know if you're family friendly here, Matt. I
Hey,
apologize.
Brit, do you
James
want to
already
know
run it.
something funny?
It's 4
Matt
a.m.
swears
We're
on my
like,
stream
honestly,
all the time.
the kids
Yeah.
better be asleep. Honestly,
Exactly.
swear to
Hey.
God, go to bed. Brush your teeth and go to bed,
Well,
kiddos.
if you're talking about like the
12
kids,
o'clock.
that's free
In the
flowing.
morning.
Right now here in Costa Rica, it's 3 a.m. Both of my kids are already sleeping. But the funny part is that if I want to import resin, I need to pay more taxes because I need a special pharmaceutical
Yeah.
permission.
Yep.
And basically, I
Class
have
product.
to spend $100 for each resin I import to Costa Rica.
That's
So it's
ridiculous.
the same for us if we want to import a laser from the US. So we had a laser company that reached out to us. It's a class 4 laser. Inside of the trade agreements that we currently have, that makes it a restricted product. And you have to pay an insane amount of money and do loads of paperwork to be able to get a laser out of the US and to the UK. As if I'm then
Actually,
going to just open the lid and start aiming it at planes. It's
actually,
like,
for example, we cannot import a lighter.
Wow.
you
We
can't
need
import a
we need
lighter.
no, we cannot because we need to request a permission as a certificate of authenticity, and we need to get kind of the
Sorry,
top
is that to stop
information around
fake
how
lighters flooding the
this.
country, or was that an epidemic that you had at some point that everyone was using fake lighters? And it was like we need to put a stop to this.
Sure,
Like,
it's
No,
just
no, because no, actually, it's because you can start the fire. So you need to get. I mean, the permission for that is quite ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But here in Costa Rica, if you can start the fire, if you can stab someone, or if you can fire it like a gun, for example, then you will need to go through believe me, a really bureaucratic process.
wow. So
So
you can't
usually,
import like a
for example,
magnifying glass.
when I do the when I get a SIPO, for example, a SIPO lighter. Basically, I ask the seller, "Hey, could you please just remove um, oh my god, what's the name for that? The actual mechanism and put it in a different box."
The Flint.
So
The Flint,
it, it,
striker.
yeah, thank you, the flare. So if you put it in two different boxes, I don't need to do anything. If they put it in just one simple box, and the guy who is checking the packages says, you know what, I want to mess with someone today, believe me, I will lose my package.
Yeah. That's a bit like we've got a delivery company in the UK called Yodel. And what they do is the delivery company stands in the middle of the country and they throw a package roughly in the direction of your house. and sometimes it'll get there just through, it'll roll down some hills or something like that, or like a bird will pick it up and it'll get dropped into the garden or something. And they are the worst. They will throw a package on your roof. Like they are people who woke up in the morning and just chose violence. All of them. They're the worst delivery drivers I have ever. I've had them. I've had one of them who parked over my driveway for an hour because he just put some parcels in a bag like a really awful Santa and just started walking up the road delivering them. And I was like, okay, so how do I get out of here now? And he just went, I don't know. Like a 5-year-old who just spilled grape soda on his sofa. He's just like, I don't know. I don't know.
I just work
It
here.
seems
What
like
do
a
I
you
know?
problem, and I've got my own problem, so you deal with it. And it's just, yeah. So we have some of the same issues as well.
I don't feel like that's too crazy because we can't ship anything that's flammable, hazardous here. I mean, even
Like a laptop battery, for
gotta bring up
example.
nail
That's a
polish
real-
again. Like you have to have the sheets for even nail polish. Like we can't.
Yep.
You're not supposed to be able to mail lighters or acetone or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't
With the
really.
sheets.
Have
I mean, like at the
anything like that.
postal, at the post
So,
office,
like,
they have you check that thing that says there's nothing flammable I forget like the whole list of like 30 different things. So it's not so crazy, right? That you can't import lighters that have something flammable inside of them.
Hey, Reed, and inside the States, do you have any issues like flying with lithium batteries?
Yeah. You can't fly with them. You can't fly with them. You can't ship them. It has to come from like manufacturer.
So we have a weird rule, which is that if your lithium-ion battery is removable, you can't take it on. But if it's built in, you can.
Yeah, I think that's how it is for flights here. Because like laptops, obviously you can bring them on, but that's like laptop.
The battery's removable. They won't. But they literally and Royal Mail's the same. So you can post a battery if it's not removable, but if it is removable, you can't.
That's very strange.
I would say it's the safety ratings are lesser on batteries that you can take out and recharge than it is on something that is.
It's something to do with. There's a bunch of like. Oh, it's something to do. There's some safety mechanism or something that's in a laptop that apparently is supposed to stop a battery from exploding. Whereas if the battery is just standalone, it has nothing. It's just the cells. So the cells have no way of monitoring if they're getting hot or anything like that. But it's actually one of the main reasons we use Amazon over here for like everything. It hurts everybody, and we're acutely aware of the fact that like Amazon is super predatory. They treat their workers badly. But if I order something now, it'll be here in like 6 hours.
Yep.
And they'll deliver anything.
My God.
They'll deliver like you can probably go on there and you could order a live bird and they would bring it to your house and they'd be like, here's your bird. And they'd be like, okay, cool. Do I have to sign anything? No, just here's a bird. And like you can buy pretty much anything on Amazon and they are a rule completely unto themselves. Because they are literally, because they have their own couriers, they decide what they're happy to carry. I bought 100 kilos of filament for a project ages and ages ago, and the guy who delivered it I thought, oh, there'll be a weight limit on this, so they'll put it into loads of different packages, but nope, they just delivered the whole thing in one giant. In 100 kilos, they just delivered the whole box. Yeah.
So there, a bottle of resin is $25, and I can literally order it right now and have it within the next 10 hours.
Yeah. And as well, when Amazon deliver, they put everything on my doorstep on a little velvet pillow, and they ring my doorbell. Like they're really nice about it. They're really pleasant. They sort of, I mean, the guy who's delivering it is like grossly underpaid, but it's amazing how much your morals slip when you're like, well, that delivery is super quick though. Like,
yes,
like everyone should earn a fair wage. Everyone should be able to put food on the table, but I do really need these bottles of ketchup like this afternoon. So screw that guy. Like it's.
Hey man, my Thingiverse is kind of broken.
Everyone's Thingiverse.
That's probably normal.
Honestly, Thingiverse has done that to me as well for just like a straight hour. None of the links that
it just goes, yeah, you've had enough. Not for you anymore.
So you notice I'm being very quiet over here. We literally use Amazon for grocery delivery and everything here. Like
It's because there aren't any other options to get it as quick as you get it. Like there just aren't.
Honestly, it costs me more to hop onto the bus, to go over to Target, to buy bags, to do my grocery shopping, and then on top of that, it takes me 3-4 hours to go to a trip like that over to my Target here. So then by the time I get home, it's like I could have just stayed at home, paid the $10 for delivery, and then tipped the guy, and I just saved myself 3 hours of my time. I had the stuff I need from Target.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go to Target.
Yeah.
Didn't have to get on the bus. Like I enjoy April that. 14th. So they actually make it easier.
So just to be clear, sorry, it's $40 to ship it, and then it won't arrive for 2 weeks.
Okay, it's 30. Let's call it $32 for the resin.
Yeah.
37 for the shipping and
37
taxes.
for the shipping.
And if I order in the next 1 hour and 47 minutes, I will get it on April the 13th.
Are they
It's
walking
almost
with
the
it?
same as the 10 hours, right?
Like they're
Just,
making it seem like the person has to cut through the jungle. Like there's not a road to your house. Like he's had to like rent a yak and he's had to like traverse the Amazon so that he can deliver you a bottle of resin.
That's why I say to the people that actually lives outside Costa Rica. Well, when you see this kind of stuff, you imagine that there is people like traveling in pigs and crocodiles in the middle of the jungle because it's impossible to get this in 14 days. And believe me or not, actually, it will take more time than expected.
Like, how much would it break the delivery driver's soul if after he turned up, you open the box and you're like, oh yeah, it's the wrong color. And then you just told him to go back.
He gets paid the same hourly. He probably does not care.
Like, oh.
All right, it's your problem.
Actually, for Amazon, for example, they ask us, "Hey, you need to go ahead and send the product back, and we will do a full refund." And usually it takes like 3 or 4 weeks because we need to do a special procedure. So
that's ridiculous.
It's insane. So yeah, so £26, which is about $34, $33, and it would be here this evening if I ordered it now. If I ordered resin.
For example,
so the resin costs about the same, the actual resin, but obviously we just don't pay for shit. I mean, I'm a Prime member because I'm kind of flash, but yeah, other than that.
This package arrives to the States on the March the 23rd,
right?
And it just gets today to the Costa Rica office.
Jesus,
that's ridiculous. No, that's our daily life here in Costa Rica, the happiest country in the world. Yeah,
it's happy until you need something, then you're shit out of luck.
It does make me, in some weird little way, because this is how my brain works, makes me really happy to know that even with those difficulties and with it being much more expensive, that you still enjoy doing the hobby enough to sacrifice that to do it.
Yep.
Well, actually,
like
it's
I get annoyed at the smallest thing, and I'm like, I give up. It's so easy just to be like, never mind, I'm done. I quit. I've quit on like my first printer like at least 30 times. I think I broke up with my printer like 40 times. I swear to God. Yeah. Threatened to throw it out the window at least like once a day. I'm ready to quit at any moment. So to know that people, like love it and stick with it, it's great.
Like all I do is I just break everything. Everything anyone's if someone gives me any screws in a bag, I lose all of those. My entire channel is just explaining to people all the different ways that I broke the thing before I set it up. Like constantly.
Yeah. This is what I can't have nice things either. I'm trying really hard. But it in some weird way, like I said, it makes me happy to know that people still the claw.
Nice.
There he goes. I literally stayed up all night just so I could see this little guy get hands. I love this little character so much.
Hey, Danny, what's the model you were trying to download from Thingiverse? Here in Costa Rica, it's working. We have Thingiverse.
Hey, at least you guys got one thing.
Yeah, Thingiverse, all right. That's funny.
It's
my mini factory you posted worked as well.
It's a little picture hanger so I can hang up that Ghostbusters logo because I had the pen on there and it broke off. So I'm trying to figure out something stable.
Well, if you send me kind of the link or the name or something that I can find the model, I can send you the STL.
Did you guys see Prusa's community site changed its name?
I did not.
They have updated the name of their website now.
I swear to God, if they change it to Meta, I'm not using it anymore.
Oh, printables.com?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, from Bruce Community Site to printables. I'm not sure why you would take your branding out of there. But still Joseph's site. So I think they're going to keep the Prushometer reward system still in place as well. I don't know if they've renamed it. I should probably take a look actually. But I saw that change name. So thought I'd throw that out there because I actually use that a lot. Because you said hangers, and I was thinking, oh, wall hangers, because I actually downloaded a few wall hangers myself for a few of my items, and it all came from their site. So,
is this the model, Danny?
Yes.
Hey, quick question: is this the error that you're having that you click on download and you get this?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, it's an easy one. Just right click on that and click Save Link As, and you will be able to download the STL file.
Okay.
That's a fun feature. Everyone was asking for that on their websites. Hey, let's make this harder than it needs to be.
Are you able to download it?
No
Danny?
way, I never knew that.
No,
That's great.
I can't download it.
yeah, if it ever doesn't generate the HTML, you can right click it and drop down under your file name and save as STL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So thank you for coming to the tech support for Thingiverse.
The Costa Rican Thingiverse tech support.
Wouldn't even surprise me.
Well, I can use another way to say it. Hey, thank you for calling Thingiverse support. My name is Rakesh. How can I help you today?
Well, that's one strike against Matt's channel.
Oh, wow. There's been worse on it. I just came across a file I had to save really quick because I was like, this is actually kind of cool looking. It's a cute little one.
Yeah, I saw that already.
Baby beast.
Nice.
Baby beasts.
Yeah,
That's
made
cute.
possible by Kickstarter, apparently. Oh boy, our favorite.
I was say,
How much
look
of a
out.
kick in the nuts
Fan
is
club.
that a bunch of people backed it on Kickstarter and then they just released everything for free afterwards?
Yeah, that happens
Like-
all the time.
Like, talk about spitting in people's faces. Just like, oh, you paid for this? Thanks for making it possible. And now it's free.
Yeah, happens all the time. Gotta love it. I'm a baby, gotta love me.
I'm trying to think.
Have a good one, Minnesota.
Gotta love me.
Hey guys, do you have any issues on getting
That's nice,
isopropylic
Matt.
alcohol? Whoa,
Oh.
cool.
Any
What was that, sorry?
advice? No.
Do we have any what? Sorry? Oh, there we go. He's cool.
And any issues trying to buy? Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's
That
cool.
file's so great.
You can kind of see like where he's
Yeah,
pinned it
Yeah.
together, but
you have slided.
On the backside, it's fine.
yeah.
The question is if you have any issues or do you need to do something to buy isopropylic alcohol?
Nope.
No.
I can literally just go down the street to my hardware store and buy it.
Yeah.
Acetone, I can buy liters at a time without anybody saying a thing to me. Like,
Welcome
hey,
to
you go burn
Costa
down a
Rica.
building? Nope. I'm just buying some, basically fuel. Literally says fuel on it.
Yeah.
Well, here in Costa Rica, I can buy 5 liters per year. That's it.
What?
Otherwise, I will need to get a special permission pretty much from the same guys from the Lyra. And, it cost me because I need to demonstrate why I need that amount of isopropylic alcohol.
Right.
It's a 3D print.
Yeah, but I will need to register myself as a company. Believe me, I'm not gonna do that.
Jeez.
Danny, are you having some sort of fit, or is it like what? Like, I'm medically concerned for you. Just need to get some lotion for that. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with your camera.
Hey man, you need to measure the steps on your head.
Something seems a little fishy.
Yep, that's weird.
Probably fine. It's probably
It's
fine.
happening with Sunlu S2 dryer.
Put some IPA on it, it'll be fine.
Haven't got it yet, and it's available to buy on Amazon. They did that the last time with the Sunlu filament dryer too.
Yeah,
the S1.
That
People
sucks.
were mad about it because I'm like, I put out my review and they're like, hey, when are they going to give the Kickstarter people our pledges? Because I can go and buy it on Amazon, and this was like probably 4 months after it was done. What the hell?
Yeah.
James, what are you printing in the background?
I am doing Doc Ock from Wicked's Patreon.
And do you like the FL Sun? The FL Sun?
I've heavily modified my FL Sun.
Yeah, I seen it. Clipper on it.
So I've done a linear rail conversion, and I've also put it on Clipper. I'm a very intelligent person. I don't try and figure it out. So the linear rails cost me about 10 mil. It cost me about 10 mil around my build plate because of how I mounted them. And then I lost about 50 millimeters on my Z because I'm cheap and I bought like standard sized extrusions and standard sized rails rather than buying the actual size that I needed. So, but yeah, it's working and it's working. I mean, it's silent now. Like,
do you have put the direct drive on it? Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
Do you have put a direct drive on it or?
No, it's just, as I say, it's the linear rails are on extrusions. I had to modify the side panels so they'd go back on. I only put Clipper on it because at stock it comes with Repetier host rather than Marlin firmware. And I didn't. I couldn't modify the bed size, and it was crashing into the bed when it was doing the bed leveling exercise. So now it's got Clipper. I managed to find a Raspberry Pi in one of my drawers, which apparently means I'm rich now. So that's fun, because I'd seen how much Raspberry Pis are going for now.
Yeah,
and not just in Costa Rica either. They're expensive everywhere. Like,
yeah, but you can also try it. With the CM4 module.
So the CM4, you can mount that to the Pad 5 from Big Tree.
Yeah, I know it. I'm waiting out for the Pad 5.
Yeah, and it's sort of. I mean, I don't really use Clipper that much on most of my machines. It's on the.
You can also the main cell on it. Mail cell or
main cell OS. Yeah. You need main cell to run Clipper. Yeah, so I've got main cell on that. And it runs. It's fine. I mean, this one's a Pi 3B, but it's just literally what I had around. What I had laying around. Like I didn't.
My FL Suns runs from day one.
Are you? That's because it's an SR, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a liner rail in it. What you have made in the order.
A slightly worse version. Yeah, I know. I couldn't get an SR, so I got my. They sent us 2 of the QQSs. So we got, I still don't know why they sent us 2, but they sent us 2. So I was like, well, I'll do a review on one, and then I just got bored one evening, and I should never get bored because when I do, weird things start happening. Like just Frankenstein my machines.
You make it in giveaway.
It was a whim. I was like, and again, I managed to find the rails and the extrusions on Amazon to deliver the next day. I printed the parts. By the time the parts had printed, the other parts had turned up, and inside of like a day, I converted it. And it was just boredom. Yeah. There was no other reason to do it. At stock, it's a little loud, and I didn't really like how loud the QQS Pro is. So I kind of just sort of went, oh, I'm going to fix that. And I thought I've definitely not got the skills to do it, so I'm the person for this job. Matt made me laugh. Matt said, "Oh, you should do a tutorial on it." I was like, "I'm still not 100% sure how I did it, so I don't really think I should be telling other people."
Yeah, but when it's well great, that is good.
Oh, it works in theory, or it's working right now. I'm printing one of Doc Ock's like tentacles on it.
My 3 favorite printers are the N6. What I built to Clipper with H2 extruder on it. I'm now also busy with the Big 3 mainboard in it.
Yeah.
Then I think I'm gonna put the Pad 5 on it, or I put the Pad 5 on it on the FSL Racer. I think on the SL Racer.
It's just one of those. So don't get me wrong. I like how easy it is to modify stuff in Clipper. Like that makes my life so much easier. And because I change my printers all the time because I've got new tool heads or whatever turn up and I have to like put them on a platform, that's great. But like it doesn't do anything material. It just saves me a bit of time. Like I can't go that much faster with Clipper. It's not got any extra features or got any extra options. I can do like input shaper to try and get rid of ghosting and things like that, you know. But like,
you make a Pi mainboard, you put there a Clipper on it, and you put the printer with the cable on it, and you make the bin file, and it is finished. Oh, forget the Clipper file, the printer file not.
Yeah.
Then you have all done on it.
Britt, is that a
Last time was for me also a scary moment of that.
Yeah. Britt, is that one of like Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs?
No, this is just a Bugman file.
Oh, okay.
Because I keep on getting, when it's far away enough, people keep asking if it's Jack Skillington.
Cool. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? He kind of has that vibe. No, I just painted the grossest product I think I've ever used.
Right.
Honestly, it felt like I was painting with honey.
And
I've never felt it. It's an acrylic. Just buy that, whatever the little Michaels brand is.
Oh, okay.
Triple thick brush on glaze. So it's been so cold here that everything I take outside will spider web. It's just nothing sets. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that I have a really nice airbrush over here. I can't use anything. So I've been needing to like put some clear coat over things, but I needed something I could just brush on that was water based.
Yeah.
So I just did it, and I'm not gonna lie, it dried actually pretty quickly. You guys saw me painting it on.
Yeah.
But it's got some gnarly texture to it in the front here. It's really bad. Like I was painting it, and it was like I could feel the paintbrush like skipping. It's so gross. So yeah, sorry, I'm just grossed out looking at it. But I think he's done. I think I'm happy with it.
Do you suffer a lot with the humidity on your filaments?
No, so I would say it's not really an issue here, not in the state. It's the temperature fluxes that we'll get. It's the drafts that you'll get in the buildings around here that tends to cause issues. But not so much with humidity.
As well, to be fair, like Sunlu sent us one of their filament dryers, and I just never reviewed it. I said, like, I literally haven't got. I'd have to soak filament in water to be able to then dry it.
Yeah,
because the humidity here, like, it never goes much above like 20%, unless it's actually.
It's pretty much the same here in Costa Rica. It's about 20% to get to the 100.
Yeah, it's like, it's just not an issue here. Like, it's not a problem that we have to deal with. We are lucky about that, you know. But then where my office is, the windows here. I had like a speed bike scene that I printed from Star Wars. I think X3D did it, and the speed bike was suspended on a printed rod. And like in the summer, I came in and like he'd gone from being horizontal to like pointing directly at me, where the PLA had just softened and he twisted and melted and everything. And I was like, okay, that's gonna fall on me and kill me at some point. So I'm gonna have to get rid of that. So. It gets a bit
actually, if we want to use PETG like in our houses, we need to keep it on the filament dryer. Otherwise, you will be getting a lot of humidity. I mean, we are kind of in the relative humidity during summer. It's for around 60 to 70%.
Wow.
I don't even think we get 70% when it's raining. Like, I think even then it's like 70% is like close to just walking through soup, isn't it? Like it's just.
Yes,
like
we get about that when we're here in Illinois. So
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna go wash my brushes, gentlemen. Thank you so much for letting me come hang out with you guys.
no worries.
anytime, Rick.
Hey, Brit.
Have a good rest of your night. Bye, guys.
Take it easy.
With that, Matt, I'm gonna have to make a move as well because I need to get some work done. So
yeah, I'm gonna probably
me too.
end live here in about 10 minutes. So because
cool.
I
No worries.
probably be
Thanks
back.
for having me on, man. I'll speak to you soon.
Alrighty, guys.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Likewise, sir. Welcome to be on the stream at any time. Let's see here. I have a feeling that this resin is not right, and that's why I cannot print with it.
Maybe you didn't mix it right.
Is that the wrong bottle what you
That's the
brought?
thing. It's a brand new bottle that I just put in there, and it's not printing. Like it prints the layer, the first couple layers, and that's it. So I've re-leveled it today, and I just set it to print, and it didn't print anything. There's just a layer stuck to the build plate, so I know it's good. The exposure time is good because I did a calibration print on it. So I'm not sure what else is going on. So we're gonna swap the resins and see if maybe that's the issue.
Hey,
How would
have,
you level?
have you tried swapping the USB drive?
Yep. Yeah, that's always my first one to do. All my machines use SanDisk, every single one of them. So I'd probably have like the test print on the stock USB, and as soon as I go to put something on it, I automatically swap it out. So I got a ton of like really cheap USBs. Like here's the original USB for that machine. So, but
How would you level resin bad as compared to a FDM?
how much? What?
How would you level out a resin printer? I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not a huge issue, but if you want to make it level, so there's two things to technically level a printer. There's the same way of leveling the build plate as you do in an FDM. You basically like squish it down, and then you just tighten everything up. So it's much easier instead of like trying to find that happy medium. And then you can actually level the entire machine, so like all the resin isn't pooling on one side of it. So some of these machines come with adjustable feet, most of them don't. So you just have to kind of shim it up with cardboard or paper or whatever you have, or you could just replace the wheels with ones that are adjustable. So like this you can't adjust. None of these wheels adjust, which really sucks because there's like 12 pegs on the bottom of here. So
Interesting.
that one's fun to actually level it.
Hey,
But
Matt, what's the dynamics behind this kind of calls? I mean, it's really nice, really interesting to listen and learn from all of you guys, and especially from people from around the world, right? So
Yeah,
we're kind of a really small community here in Costa Rica, and well, first of all, I want to appreciate the fact that you accept me here. I was googling for every single place. Oh my God, what ends with yard and then says yes 79 u 98 a.m. until
Right.
you told me about the YouTube stuff. So
Yep.
first of all, I want to appreciate that. It has been really nice to meet people. I am a huge follower from all of your videos and duos and stuff. So
Yeah.
well, I want
But
to know how it works, how it usually works. Hey, I just start following you as well, Danny as well.
yeah, so the only thing that like I don't have any set time frames to do this. It's just kind of hey, I feel like chatting with people and working on things throughout the night. That's more or less what I do. Is I don't have any like every day we're gonna do this at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock because I don't have the ability to have a flexible schedule like that. So it's like 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be live anytime after 11 o'clock, pretty much any day if I can. So that's how it's been. Now things might change in the next month or two because I'm starting a new job and it is overnights. It's working six
Congrats.
to six, so so that might change a couple days, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason or anything like that. I'm always popping on here just to chat with people, and you know, if people are up, they can come in and join. It's open to literally anybody, even if you don't know anything about 3D printing. You guys can come and join the stream. It doesn't matter. So this was an awesome hangout. Looking forward to more streams like this tonight, guys. All right, Geek Dad, have a good one, man. But yeah, and like the people that pop in here, like I'm streaming on multiple platforms. So you obviously were from the TikTok side, and I have Facebook streaming on my personal page. I have Facebook on my actual page. I have Facebook on my 3D printing for noobs page. I have my YouTube. I have my Twitch, and I also have my Twitter. So we're streaming on what, 6 different platforms?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're streaming all over the place. So, and that's basically what I do is I just stream it out and just let people hang out, chit chat, do whatever they want. So, and it's nice to show off this, and you know.
And some people believe sticking on it.
Yeah.
You know what? 3D printing for noobs was pretty much my first group when I was studying on the 3D printing stuff. Basically, I just got an advice from someone telling me, "Hey, there is a guy selling an Ender 3. He's asking for $200." So I was like, "Yeah, that's okay. I can go ahead. I can afford it. Uh, I will jump in." And then as soon as I get the printer, I say, "Okay, now how do I start printing?" So he told me like, "Yeah, did you get the filament? What? What's a filament?" I didn't know how it works, right? So I get a filament, and then okay, I already entered the STL on my SD card, but it's not recognized by the printer. What's happening here? So I jump into this 3D printing for noobs. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the most common question: why my printer is not recognizing the STL. So because we don't know that we actually need to go and get the G code, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, that's pretty much an awesome group. Thank you so much for whoever creates. I guess it was you, Matt.
You're always welcome.
So thank you so much for creating that group. That has been awesome.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Matt is the
because,
person you can ask everything about Resident, and you can ask me about the FDM printing or other guys.
What's up, Martin? Yeah, and
You have all
I pretty much deal with resin printers, but
expertise.
if you ever need help, I'm always available. As I always say, I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form, but I can try and get you the help that you need. Because I don't know everything. Like I get people that ask me questions like about Cura, like the slicer. I don't barely know anything about that. And I don't really know anything about the slicers in general anymore because it's been like 2 years since I've actually tinkered with any settings in a slicer for FDM side. But I'm more strictly resin out of anything. So if you need any resin help, I can guide you through that. I will definitely consider myself on a professional side on that.
Yeah,
So much so that I even get Uncle Jesse.
No doubt about that.
It's funny because actually tomorrow I will try to do my very first print on my first resin printer. It's an Anycubic Photon, the single one, the simple
Yep.
one.
So
Something
you
like
got an old school photon. This is what I suggest for your first print right here. This is what's called a calibration print.
Okay.
Okay, and these are what I use to calibrate resin for every single machine. So every single bottle of resin, I run these on these calibration tests, and they're very simple to read. I'll link the file here so you can download it. Give me a second here.
Are you using cheat box for as a slicer or?
Yes.
Cool.
Now I do have Lychee, I have Lychee Pro, I have Prusa, like I have all the slicers that you can think of. But I more or less am stuck to Shitu box because that's something that I know. and that I've used for years. So, where is that?
If you do normal, what you do, Matt, is also you make it in Chichi box and then you go to the other slicer for the rest, eh?
Yep. Yeah. So like, okay, I have a Creality Hellet Sky that utilizes the Creality Hellet box, and unfortunately, since it's an alpha model, I've had it way before anybody else did. I can't upgrade it, so I can't use any other slicer except for the original one that came with it. The one that wasn't even like Creality branded almost. So if I try and upgrade to the new Creality slicers, it will not slice a file for that. So what I do is I'll do all my work in Shitu box, and then I'll import that STL that's already done into Creality's Hellet box slicer, just so it can slice it for the machine, and that's it. I don't touch anything else.
Yeah, I have seen, Matt. John,
Yep.
there has a program now, I think, and it's now also the Sky and a Halot inside for that. He said
Really?
that me, yeah, he said that me on the message yesterday.
I was just talking to him like right before I got on live stream, and he didn't say anything about it.
I'm gonna look for that.
So I put the file in private chat. So if you go and look in private chat, there's a link to a Google Drive, and you can download that file.
I am doing it right away.
I want to say for the Photon, for a test print, you're using any cubic resin. What kind of resin is it? Color?
White.
Okay, so for white, it's a little bit less pigment. So I'd say like 6 for your normal exposure and 50 for your bottom. And that's really all you're going to have to change. You're only going to change your normal exposure time with resin printers. It's very simple. So, but once you do that one, if you want, you can message me, and I can help you out with that.
The slider Ideal Maker.
Thank you.
Okay.
He says you can put it on the Halot and the Sky.
See, but he was able to upgrade his Sky though. His Sky is.
I have my Halot. Like I cannot upgrade it.
Yeah, my Sky I can't upgrade.
Me too.
It sucks, but it is what it is.
That is with color change shifting filament.
Ah, nice.
That's a 23-hour print. It's pretty big.
23 hours. Good Lord. It's too long.
Oh, that.
Is that you who friend requested me? Is your name Jose?
It's Juan.
Or Juan, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, that is you. All right. Yeah, you could just message me on Facebook and just print that file, send it to me, and whenever I get back awake, I can show you how to read it and everything. But essentially, it's very simple. You can kind of see everything on here. You're basically looking. You have the older test, which will work just fine. This is just the new updated one. But you can see like there's a piece missing right there. It's like a gapped tooth.
Yep.
And that shouldn't be like that. It should look like this one on the bottom right here, where it's all solid almost. So, but you can look, if you look at it in the slicer, that's basically what it should look like when it comes off the printer. If there's anything missing or things look like they're blending together, then you're either over or under exposing it.
Yeah, so far I have just contact with the Calicube.
Gotcha.
And Lord, that I love that Calicube thing. It's amazing for setting up the printers.
I agree.
It's actually the first time when I go on TikTok, people will say they get the filaments from Micro Center. I had no idea Micro Center sold the filament.
Yeah, so they sell Inland brand, which is rebranded eSun.
What is that with Micro Center? Every time I see it, it's the $1 bill from the end of 3.
Yep. So
But they're all Ender 3s also there.
Yeah, so they have a contract with Creality and eSun to sell resin and filament for eSun, and then they have a contract for selling printers through Lulzbot and Creality and Monoprice. So those are the three companies. I don't think they sell
that's a
any
really cheap price. $100.
Yep.
Interesting.
When I sell here an Ender V3 of Ender 3 V2, I sell it for $210.
Yep. Now I will say that those are usually Ender 3s, I think, for 100, or maybe it's an Ender 3 Pro.
With the upgrade from Ender 3 Pro with a new mainboard.
Yeah.
Oh, my filament. Holy fuck.
Hey, have you seen the guy that was printing a Goku in TikTok Live, like a 20-something hours printing that fails? The filament drops in the middle of the printing.
I think I know who you're talking about, and
it's a French guy.
He was going to print it again.
Yep.
But yeah, that happens a lot. It sucks.
Do you guys have the Octoprint set up on your printers?
I have on my Ender 6, I have Clipper on it.
Okay.
And the next week I put Clipper on the FL Sun with a Big 3 Pad 5 on it.
Dang it!
Normally, I print standard with my printers. When it's print good, I do not change that. And
okay.
But the Ender 6 was a project. They sent it me for that stuff to make changes on that, and I make the Ender 6 completely Big 3 Tech products in it. And it's print really nice.
Okay. Is there anybody even watching? Yeah, there's 3 people watching.
Look at man.
Look, you jinxed it.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Epic failure.
Yep.
Do you see, man? The prices of the printers are a little bit higher than normal.
The what?
The printers of Creality, it's a little bit higher than normal.
What do you mean, price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because just shipping around the world is higher now.
Yeah, that I know. It's an expensive plate on that.
Yeah, and then on top of it, I believe they're still on lockdown, so everything is going to start getting more expensive.
I like the change of the filament of the FL Sun. It's put one button in, you put the filament out, you put the filament in, you put the button in, and it's done.
Do you want to know how expensive, Matt? Let's see the Costa Rica expensive fact. 1 liter of gasoline cost almost $2.
Crash what it here cost in Europe, in the Netherlands.
It fails, Annie.
$2.60.
Jesus.
Wow.
I'm glad I live 1 kilometer from the German border. That is 40 cents cheaper. But the car is now almost 3 weeks on the parking lot. It's too expensive. I live 500 meters from the center of the city, so I can walk there. I have the good shops around me. So I can do all things walking or with bicycle. So the first spaghetti mat from the FL Sun.
Ah, Spaghetti Monster.
Yeah.
See, you're not the only one with a failure tonight.
He knocked off on the build plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm crossing fingers since I am doing a long time hyperlapse for the smallest log. So crossing fingers it didn't fail.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but the machines kind of smell the fear.
Damn nice. So I must
Okay,
use the
so
room again.
I just download the Cheeto box resin exposure tests.
Failures happen for a reason. It's about learning through 3D printing.
What did Batman's dad say?
I think my problem was I had put an also too high. What I had put an flexible plate on the focus.
See, that would have been an interesting print. You see the under extrusion right there.
What is that? Chicken bone?
No, it's part of the alligator. It's not under extrusion. I mean, this thing's pretty strong. Something happened. I don't know.
That's one of the reasons why I hate using silky filaments, is they give problems all the time.
Yeah, it smells really. What I now have from a Dutch company, 123, is also copper filament.
Oh.
And when I put that on, it's like I burned my main board.
I just had an idea. What if I just printed it in white and stained it in coffee?
There you go.
That's a good idea. Yeah, you see, this is not under extrusion. I mean, that's the grit's pretty strong. It's not brittle. Yeah,
And Salsa 3D, what for printers do you have?
I don't understand though. This is the same kind of filament I used to print my dragon. My dragon came out good.
Could be the file too. That happens from time to time, where the file's broken and nobody knows it. Supposedly the what is it? The cinder wing dragons, I guess, have some issues on them.
The Singer Drink Dragons, you must put the lower speed.
Yeah.
And it goes all fine. When you put it on the fail of the FL Sun Racer, for the 100%, it go always full. It go always wrong. When I put it on the 50 speed, it goes really good, and you have nice lines on it.
Let's try Rocket.
Hey guys, do you know if there is any way to set up the printer on Chitubox? It's about to just click on settings and then click on add the printer, but not the printer feature.
I will show you. I'll show you step by step right here.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, so we are going to, let's say you probably downloaded 192. I'm guessing either one. It'll be fine.
Yeah, 192.
Right. So we're gonna boot it up here, and when you initially start, it should have like a screen here. But if it's not, basically we're gonna go to settings. We're gonna go to add new printer, and there's your printer right there right away. So there's Anycubic, and you have the Photon, I believe, not the Photon S. And then you just hit OK, and there's your printer right there.
Okay.
All the information is done. So the only thing that you have to change is when you come over here to print, you're going to put this at probably, I usually do 5. That should be more than enough. Your exposure time, like I said, is going to be 6 seconds. This is the only thing you are going to need to change on this entire system when you're doing calibration between different resins. Bottom exposure, it says 30. That's a little light for that. I would probably put it at 50.
On which one? The
Bottom exposure.
time.
You know what? Let's put it at 40.
40. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, this is how it should look. 0.0505640, and then that's really all you're gonna change. You're not gonna touch anything else. And then let's say you calibrate that resin. So what you can do is you can actually save these profiles like this. So now we have profile 1, so because we just saved it. Well, we're going to edit that, and let's say that calibration worked for that that resin. We can put Anycubic white right there, and then hit enter. And so now we have an Anycubic white profile for any time that we get white. Now, when you get like a black or a gray or a clear, we'll have to do basically the same thing and just, modify each and every time. And once we get it set to where we think it's good, you just save the profile just like that. So.
Okay, I just downloaded, and well, I will have to go and get my 5 liters of isopropylic alcohol because this resins needs to be cleaned up in alcohol. But well, I will do it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Actually,
now
in a few hours, I start working in a couple of hours.
I gotcha. So talking on resin and isopropyl alcohol, it's not my favorite to use, but there is water washable resin where you can use water instead of isopropyl alcohol. I don't like using it because it tends to crack very easily. It's very brittle. And it just doesn't seem to hold up over time. But again, in Illinois here, we have hot and cold days back to back. So like today or yesterday it was 60 degrees. Today it's 22. So, so temperature changes quite rapidly here. So it doesn't really hold up too well.
No, my main issue here is that, well, the resin, I can go ahead and get it from one of my providers on $60 per liter, right? But if I try to get the washable resin, it will go $90 or $80, something like that. So
that's probably because it's got more chemicals in it. I don't know. That's insane.
I don't know. I want to think that it's because of something technical, not just because they know how hard it is to get the isopropylic alcohol, and they are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, it's possible.
Unfortunately, it is.
I remember my first what is that printer called? The Delta printer. Matt, you remember when I sent my first one?
Yep.
God, that build plate was so small. But I'm much happier with my bigger FDM printer.
Yep.
I am happy with my Ender. I'm the CR10, and now my Photon or Photon.
The CR10 is a nice machine. That's actually a really good Creality machine.
Yeah, that's what I am currently using in the back. It's a CR10 Mini, but well, it does
even better.
Yep.
What's up, Andrew? How's it going, man?
Hey, Andrew. Okay, well, Matt, again, I want to highly appreciate all the time, effort, Danny, Ray, Bree, James, and all the people that already went to bed. Right here in Costa Rica, we are almost 4 a.m. on the morning, and I start working in a couple of hours, so I'm going to take a rest. Today, actually, one of my uncles passed away, so I was on the services today. Thanks. So I am kind of tired now. So thank you again, Matt. I will be following you up. I will expect the new session on this. And hey, just in case, if you get someone who is asking for your help and they really don't speak English, and you need someone to jump in Spanish, feel free to contact me, to reach me. I will be more than glad to jump in and help, or at least help on the translation on that. So.
All right, sounds good, man. Definitely take you up on that. All right, well, you have a good night, man. Or good
Take
day.
care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, man. Yeah, I think with that, I was supposed to end this 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So.
me too. I must change something in the room.
Yep.
I have a
So.
job make for a company in Netherlands. They get 3D printers from Creality. They send it to the person they buy it. Maar here in the Netherlands, a lot of people don't know what a 3D printer means. And they think always it's broken. Now I get a printer and I think it's not broken again.
Yeah.
Dus we have the same policy. They must send a video what's broken, and then I look 2 times for that. It's real broken, then we send a new printer.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit more service than normally.
Yep.
Just I wait for the post order company.
There you go. There's a little mini Delta.
Yep, I sent that back a while. That's because I was learning that it was.
How old is that model? I have not seen that.
But
yeah, it's old.
I know how to do it now.
It's old, but anyway, I'm gonna head off here. And you guys have a good one. Until next time, guys. Happy 3D printing.
Have a nice day.